uh, stop my video, so
Oh, you want to stop your video? That's totally cool. Not a problem at all.
until I'm done eating.
You are all good. Go right ahead. It's not an issue at all. But yeah,
There we go.
and what an amazing profile picture. But yes, we are back. Hello to anybody that is watching this either now or in the future. We're just sitting around.
I am gonna join, so I'll be watching and playing.
Okay, absolutely killer. But
Sorry,
yes.
I don't know why I said that.
No, you're totally cool. You're all good. Yeah, it's gonna be a more peaceful game today. Not much. In all honesty, it's probably just gonna be you guys traveling around and probably finding your first adventure in the eastern side of Allatour. That sound good?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo!
And we usually start this off with something that's gonna date the video. Are there any like topical memes or goings on? Oh yeah, the actors and the writers strike.
Yep.
Can we talk about Skibbity Toilet?
What the fuck
What?
is Skibbity Toilet?
Oh damn, it's apparently the hot new YouTube, like children's YouTube thing. Apparently if you make a YouTube video that has Skibbity Toilet in the title, you'll just get 1 million views.
Well, I know what I'm putting in.
It's like-
All right, I know.
Okay, in shortest terms, it's like there was like this 10-second clip of like it's a Gmod video with like a toilet with a head that comes up and sings like a sped up version of like the song that goes like skibbity bop or whatever. But then like by episode there's like 50 episodes of this, so they're all like 10 seconds long. And by episode like 10 or whatever, it's about this like war between the Skibbity toilets and the camera people. So like these toilets with these heads that are just like doing fucking scat or whatever are like these aliens that are invading the planet, and there are these humans that have like security cameras for faces that are like the resistance or whatever. And not only do all of these videos have like X million views, but you could make a video that's just like 10 things you didn't notice in Skibbity Toilet number 42, and just go into like the lore where it's like, this camera person you can see here in this frame, this might mean there's a new camera person who's gonna whatever. And,
Tony,
like,
I
even that
typed
video will
in-
get like 1 million views.
Tony, I typed into SKI into Google, and Skibbity Toilet was the second thing to come up.
Let it be
Literally
known
because there's
for
a-
the first 24 hours after this episode goes live, I will have it be named Skibbity Toilet. It'll have nothing to do with anything we do in this session. I just want to test that theory.
Oh,
This is something for kids? This looks horrifying.
What the?
I've only heard of this because there was an internet comment etiquette video on it like 2 days ago, and then Charlie Critical, whatever his name is, made a video on it like yesterday where he is like, the one thing I remember is for a while he's just like doing his bit about how like the internet brain rot, whatever, like this is what entertainment is, but by the end of the video he's like, honestly it's not terrible, like as far as kids content goes, like at least it's like animated in like Gary's mod or whatever, like some effort was put in.
It
Like,
looks
it's all
horrifying.
right.
It looks very
Somewhat of an
scary.
editing.
Fuck D&D. Y'all want to have a
survived.
watch party? I mean, like shit.
Oh, damn.
Skibbity Toilet watch party.
Hell yeah.
I survived 100 days of Skibbity Toilet in hardcore Minecraft.
Are you kidding me?
Oh.
Is
What is
that
It was uploaded 52 minutes ago. This is
Oh my god.
of this time.
who's the
It's
channel?
the best filtering by uploaded for the
Maxcraft?
past hour.
Defuck Boom has 20 million views.
Oh yeah, that's the guy's YouTube channel.
What is
I'm
this?
so
It's
lost.
toilet.
I have never
Yeah.
felt older.
I think the idea of just like you have like a 10-second YouTube video where it's just here's a toilet, oh a head popped out of the toilet, oh it's singing, that's fun.
I haven't
like,
watched
alright, that
any
got a
of
bunch
them
of
with
views.
sound yet.
Let's just
I
make a
probably should.
Let's just make a second one where it's the same exact audio and just like virtually the same animation, but just like in a different location. And then because it's like the same thing but slightly different, kids will be like, oh, I gotta watch that one now. And then just like as it goes, just slowly introduce this narrative of just this like alien invasion or whatever. Now it's like, I don't know.
Also, I like Mr. Beast overall. You can love him, you can hate him. I just saw this come up. I'm trying to fucking just get to the image so I can copy and send it over. Where it was an image from one of his videos from like a week ago, and it just says like train versus giant pit, and then the description is subscribe or I take your dog. There's probably more to that, but
For a second, I thought I
Yeah.
was thinking of the like, what was it? It was like the like car versus giant hill or whatever. That,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
those ones. That's what
Ye-
I was thinking of at first. So I was really excited for a second because I love those.
Whoever, it's Atom Bomb versus Coughing Baby.
Is that a real video that he
That-
posted?
It's an image at least.
well,
Like,
that's
as
also
if
like
the
a
video
meme of epic rap battles of history where it's like it's like Dream versus nuclear bomb begin, and then Dream gets like I was always, and then it just fucking explodes.
Oh.
There's also one that was Dream versus Rosa Parks, which I will send to the chat now.
Dream like the Minecraft guy?
Yeah. It's 14 seconds long.
I think he got canceled. Yeah, I think Dream has been canceled.
So I think in terms of that, if I remember correctly, he got canceled because he basically
Careful.
well, I wasn't gonna say anything about. At least from what I know is he.
Oh
got,
yeah, won't they like come for us, all the Minecraft people?
So okay, for anybody
I'm the
that's
only
watching-
person watching right
I have it open. I'm watching. I could.
Okay, I only saw one person.
Like
I
Karen
saw
on y'all.
Just to be gentle with it, just to be gentle. Apparently, he got bullied so bad after his face reveal that he made a video saying, "I'm never going to reveal my face again online."
Oh,
And
that's not getting
Aw.
canceled.
no. Well, if he did get canceled, then it's something that I don't know about. But that's the
I
most
don't know
recent
about-
news that I heard about him.
After the whole Colleen Ballinger thing came out, people like made a collage of canceled YouTubers, and Dream's like smiley face was on there. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll look it up and drop it in chat so Minecraft fans don't come up. Ooh, who's that?
Apologies.
Disclaimer. Oh, it was very good.
Thank you.
Disclaimer to the
Cancel.
Minecraft fans: we don't know enough about any of it for you to be angry with us.
That is true.
So we simply
Other
don't
than the
understand.
shocking amount of old Minecraft YouTubers who turned out to be pedophiles.
Yes, that will
Yikes.
never cease to. Like literally, it was like 40% of them. Like any,
Jesus Christ.
if you watched if you watched any YouTuber grow like generally like our age, you roll a D10. If you get a 4 or lower, they're most likely up. Like it's fucking crazy.
Flip a coin.
Yeah, but you know,
I don't care.
speaking about
I don't- I don't
rolling
care.
hills, do you guys
How
want
did we get here?
Well, I don't know how we got it, but all I know is that where we're going. You guys want to play some D&D?
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, are you still eating?
I'm almost done.
We can make funnies of a few more
We can make
minutes.
the funnies. We can
do bits.
We can do
What
a
else?
little bit of a laugh.
Do a
What else
bit,
is ti-
everybody.
what
I
else
have
is-
2 more bites.
What else is timely? What else could date this video?
The toxic gossip train could date this video.
I don't want to talk about that.
I don't want to talk about it.
Understood.
I don't want to talk about it.
What?
Oh,
Is
man.
there good news? Is there good?
I have good news.
What's good news?
Let's go.
What's good news?
Hank Green's cancer, not yet in remission, but he's done with chemo. It looks really good. He's going on to radiation. Also, in the same era, John Green rallied enough supporters to make a generic version, to allow a generic version of a tuberculosis drug-resistant medication, so that now it's going to be affordable for people who have TB that's drug-resistant, and it's going to be
that's
great.
awesome.
And fuck Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
Fuck them. They're not
Yeah.
stealing our money for our lives.
I saw that
Oh, that's
video this
awesome.
morning and I got fucking furious. Oh, I saw his explanation of what was going on.
Yeah. Within a day, him going on all of his social media and being like, hey, this is what's happening. This is why it's shitty. Make a big stink about it. Within like a day or two, they were like, So we're gonna make a generic version of it actually. We're not gonna extend the patent. Please stop bullying us.
Well, and
So it works.
I don't want to sound too crazy here, but truly, the united goals of people can trump almost anything. It is truly amazing to be like, if someone just points out and goes like, this is shitty, if we all band together, we just bully them enough, we can fix the problem. That's really fucking cool.
It happened for the Sonic movie. It can happen for real.
Exactly.
It happened for the D&D community, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we
So
wouldn't
true.
be here if not for all of us being like, we're rules lawyers. We make it our job to read every single line. You think you could sneak this shit by us?
Yeah.
Man, I
And
would
it's
have gotten
really
away
cool
with
because
it too.
it's the kind of like shitty thing that like they would have gotten away with if they had managed to go under the radar.
If it weren't for us meddling kids.
Yeah. You and your Twitters and your threads.
I don't know what Threads is. Does anyone know what Threads is?
It's just
I
Facebook, Twitter.
refuse. I refuse.
We're too old for that.
You don't want to be on actual
Well,
Twitter because of
That's
you.
the theme of this episode. We're too old. I ain't learning that.
Yeah. Well
I'm
apparently,
well fed.
apparently the timeline is also to eating well. Apparently the timeline was Twitter existed, Elon got Twitter got rid of all of its community guidelines, and then Facebook made a new Twitter with the community guidelines, and then everybody's flocking to Threads because they're like, hey, social media sites are a little bit more fun when there aren't a bunch of Nazis and racists just saying whatever they want all the time. So
Yeah.
And the thing about Threads, PSA to both you all and to anyone who happens to watch, Threads scrapes all of your data even worse than Facebook does.
yep.
And you have to connect it to your Instagram when you make an account, and you can't delete it unless you delete your Instagram as it stands at the moment. And also, it is literally illegal in the EU because it violates their privacy laws so badly. They have stricter privacy laws than we do.
Okay, guys, don't use Threads.
Bad. It's not bad.
Just don't use Titter.
Titter.
Ayo, kids. Ayo.
Hey yo, new social media
New
just
social
dropped.
media.
It's called Titter.
Welcome to Titter.
It's just a bunch of liberal bimbos and himbos.
It's exactly
Get on
like
Twitter,
it's
get
exactly
on
like
Titter.
Threads, but every profile pic is boobs. So
Tumblr wanted no nipples. We want all the nipples.
Hey, my nipples can be shown on Tumblr. They're not female presenting
That's
anymore.
true.
I made a whole post on Instagram about it.
Let's go.
and okay, with that, are we all ready to play some
I'm gonna pee real
Okay,
quick. I'll be right
excellent.
back.
As
Hey,
Darby said, a little bit more
squirrel.
funnies, a little bit more.
I got it. I ate my pierogies.
Excellent. We love that.
Maz, I have to show you my new dye. It has the Kool-Aid Man on it.
We love that.
And it's huge and red. And
That's
I'm gonna roll better than a 5 this time. It's a 14.
Oh, yeah, that was better than a 5. Yeah.
I have a cake. I have a dice that has a little cake inside of it.
Cool.
Oh, that's so good!
These
I
are my
know!
Allatour dice to anybody that cares.
I care!
We got metal, wood.
Oh,
we
wait.
got drop of red
Show.
wine.
I didn't see
I
it.
don't know how well because my camera's a little bit strange. So we got wood. We have red wine in the center, which I love.
Yeah.
We have this like combination of like brown, red, and black. And we
But
have
it's not as good as brown.
and we have metal. There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here's the Cassiano D20s. There we go. Nope,
wait,
I keep
wait,
doing
wait.
it bad. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, all pinks and greens.
We love it.
So good.
Oh, also, by the way, I tried using D&D Beyond's like digital dice for a game that I played like 3 days ago. I rolled an 8 6 times in a row. I was like, the algorithm is broken. I don't know what's going on. That or my
Because at least when it's the dice and you're rolling bad that consistently, you're like, okay, it's me. It's something
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
doing. Oh, I like them.
It's very
Excellent. Very good.
very lovey-dovey.
They're very Hathor.
Oh, the music
Love
is just
it.
so peaceful and so wonderful. Holy crap!
Oh?
She's breaking in. Hello.
It's a cage.
She's here. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, this is gonna be a short for real.
This is
Yeah.
this
Where are
is
your
the
notes?
first recorded physical
Where are your notes?
interaction we've had with each other. Touch him, touch him, grab him.
Oh, Jesus. I'm all
Steal his
plugged in.
notes. Steal his
Oh,
lucky
okay.
DM.
Welcome to D&D.
Mess up his dumb
Perfect.
haircut.
What? You messed up my
Steal his sarsaparilla.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, time for some D&D?
Yes.
Perfect. Mwah.
Excellent.
Oh, absolutely awesome. Oh, I'm so happy we got that all on film. God, I love that woman so much. Okay. Ugh.
I shouldn't have eaten the red chili flakes. They were so good, but now my mouth is on fire.
Oh
All
I
right.
put like a tablespoon in it.
So with all of that, are we all excited to play some D&D?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wee.
Yes.
Whoa.
Wee. Yes.
Wee
and
wee.
Then with that, how about a deep and cleansing breath, and then we can hop right into it. That sound good?
Yes.
We
Yes.
Yes,
Wee.
yes, and yes. Then everybody please join me. And everything after the breath is canon. Welcome back to Allatour. Will the important players met, a mission received, and goodbyes exchanged as les Jolies, the pretty ones, depart from the capital city of Jumelage and begin their journey across Allatour to tackle the many issues laid out across the nation. As you spend the next few hours riding your noble steeds, your reliable mule, and your enchanted broom, as the rolling hills to your north and south begin to rise and fall like a grassy sea, your ride comes to a bit of a slow, as ahead of you by maybe a mile or so, you see a fork in the road ahead. A signpost lies between two branching paths, indicating north, northeast, and south, southeast. North, northeast for the King's Road, and south, southeast for the Queen's Road. Beyond these signposts, you're able to see a small squadron of Untitled guards that have occupied a collection of hovels based about 500 yards into a grassy field beyond the posts, just as a way of having an easy rest point while patrolling these two main roads leading to the capital. Armed with your maps and your wits and your mounts, you are able to look upon the nation of Allatour and chart your own course. Follow the roads or travel off the beaten path, visit whatever location suits you. The floor is all of yours. What do you do?
Hathor will, like a little kid on the monkey bars where they swing upside down and they're holding on by their knees. She'll do that on her broom and just look at the group and be like, the future is female, isn't it? Yay.
I'd be good with taking the road south.
I would as well. I hear the south is quite lovely this time of year.
Beaches, all sorts of whatnot.
Honorable Viscount Cassiano Pavel, aren't the Pavel estates down this way? Or am I confused?
The Pavel states are encompassed by all sorts of whatnot.
Did you say witches? Or did I mishear you?
I don't think I said witches.
Did I say witches?
No, I just like hearing witches. I think I have like a bias towards it.
Oh.
Sir Bumperdinger, do you have any feelings which way our journey takes?
As long as we reach our destination eventually, I'm good with whatever way we set out.
That is how most travels go.
Yeah.
Very astute.
Thank you.
The Queen's Road it is then.
Off we go.
Okay. The Queen's Road. Endless green, grassy, rolling hills rising and falling like an earthen ocean. You're able to watch as you pass by this small encampment of Untitled guards as they see Sir Cherie, and they quickly pull themselves up and give a salute. The 2 or 3 that are milling about tending to the horses and hay that need just general chores that need to be tended to.
I give them a salute right back and nod.
They salute and they nod. Hathor, as you are flying overhead, around, just kind of experimenting around just with your new height, maybe with your arrow or something. You watch the soldiers all just kind of sense your presence and blow kisses towards you and begin waving, take off their helmets and bow in a very resplendent way.
Hey, I swoop through there and give one of them a peck on the cheek.
You just watch the guy go, "Whoa, coming in hot," as you before you drive by at like 30 miles an hour. Perfect.
I break his nose. No. I would heal it right away. No, true.
No damage done. You just like cartoonishly one leg out. He spins around like a corkscrew like 3 times, then lands back on his feet. His eyes kind of rolling as he is dazed and love struck immediately. As you guys continue to travel east-southeast, you realize that the first village you would come across would be Voir le village. That would be your.
I didn't post.
That would be the closest village to you taking the Queen's Road. However, if you would like to travel into the ancient glade towards the Dubois castle known as Travel 2, you can simply bypass this village. However, you could also bypass this village in an effort to get to the Sandy Mile, the southern coast of Allatour, de la Colline, if that is also what you desire. But for right now, the sun now raised into the sky. You're going to be on the road for about maybe 2-3 days before you even reach Voix being the closest village to you, being about 2-3 day travels away. Any other village is going to be a little bit farther out from that by a couple days. So I'm just going to turn the floor over to you guys as you guys are riding in this new party, as merchant wagons and people tending fields kind of move back and forth like across your path. You're able to see in the distance farms established with wheat and cow and horses kind of just lightly silhouetted by the sun as a warm glow is cast down upon you. I'm going to turn the floor over to you guys as you may have whatever conversations you wish as you travel.
I have a question for you all regarding all the sort of everything that happened back at Castle Untitled. I just need to find something in my notes about it first, because I'm trying to remember what it was. Okay.
Are you a scribe, Honorable Viscount?
Oh, yes. Oh, for a second I was about to say no, because I forgot that I could read in this campaign. Oh, yes, I keep all sorts of notes. I keep a very detailed diary, yes.
Can I lean over and peek at his notes?
Nope,
from above.
You cannot.
I'm above you. You can't see.
Actually, I will say, looking... Jesus Christ, shut up.
They just want to play.
They want to play.
Let them roll.
Looking... What languages do you speak, Hathor?
Hold on. I speak Celestial, Common, and Infernal.
I will say that if you do manage to catch a peek at Cassiano's notebook, it is in a language that you cannot understand.
Ooh.
So I sort of flip through my notes and land on a page as I'm balancing on the back of my mule. And I say, so while we were trying to track down Winter Scott Key, there were certainly some sort of like weird vibes from him, and I've got a sort of like magical radar type thing. I can sense weird vibes, basically. And what I'm trying to say is that I got weird fucking vibes off of all of you fuckers. And I want it known, and I want to make it, you all know it to each other, and I want answers, because I want them. Cherie...
You love knowing the answers to secrets, Cass, don't you?
Oh, I love secrets. I love to have them, I love to keep them, I love to fail to keep them. Cherie, I got Celestial from you. And Hathor, I obviously got Infernal from you, but I also got Celestial from you. And then heard weird rumors about you. And Blorso...
I mean, I heard weird rumors about you too, so...
Well, ain't that just the way? And Blorso, I got something entirely different and entirely unrecognizable to me from you. Just general weird. So the floor is goes to whichever one of you would like to fess up first and tell me some secrets.
Well, it's not a secret. You got Celestial because I'm an ASMR.
Oh shit, really?
Yes.
Well, that solves that one. Thank you, Sir Cherie. You are nothing if not efficient.
Happy to help.
Yeah. Writing it down. As if it's
I would hope that wouldn't be
above me and I didn't already know that.
I would hope that was something you wouldn't need to write down to remember, but to each their own.
Could you imagine?
Oh, Cherie, I have missed you.
Could you imagine?
I
like,
saw you yesterday.
This is Moss. This is Moss.
Oh. Because if Hathor said that, she'd be like, I saw you yesterday.
Yeah.
She was up so high in the sky for so long.
Woo!
Could you imagine traveling companion Asian? Like, just
Latino.
dictates everything, including race.
Irish and German, aka white.
50% white.
Was that
40%.
all
I'm like
23andMe?
10% tiefling, which makes me like
Oh
really
my-
crunchy. I'm like 10% elf, so like it makes me really crunchy, and like
Crunchy.
that's why I'm so like
Crunchy.
good with nature, you know? Like it's just in my blood. So
It's
it's like when people say they're like 10% Native American, and you're
Yeah,
like, you know
yeah.
why you're 10% Native American, my friend.
Call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway.
Anyways, Heather, tell me what your deal is.
what will you give me for it? A secret for a secret.
Yeah, sure. I just have to think of a good one. Do I have to tell you first?
I have
or you
one.
wanna go?
Hathor will swoop down next to you, eye level with your mule. And she will go semi-privately, but also semi-not. She'll go, how do you know how to do that force magic you know how to do? Like, I understand your radar. I've seen plenty of paladins where I grew up. But those things you shot at Walter Scott Key, that was Winter, damn it. Fuck him, he doesn't deserve to have a real name.
Walter.
Walter Whitekey.
Walter White Key. Wait, Jesse.
Jesse.
Cherie.
French Jesse.
Cherie. We gotta cook.
We have to open the coven.
Give me the bracelet.
Oh god.
But yeah, that was not very holy magic. if
Don't
ask
you know
me.
a guiding bolt when you see one?
Oh, I can cast one, darling. So I do know when I see one. And that was not it. 'Cause did cast Eldritch Blast.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get to roll to see if I'm lying good enough?
Sure, you also don't have to tell me anything.
That's true.
This is just a fun game that I'm doing.
Let's roll to be a liar.
I'd say
Eat
I
hot
would
chip and
say-
lie.
Eat hot chip and lie. My favorite things. I would say that perhaps you just haven't seen a guiding bolt like mine before.
Insight check.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta
Deception
use my
roll.
cake dice.
Nice.
17.
12.
Tell me as much or as little or nothing at all. Totally fine with me.
There is You can tell that Cass is certainly not lying about being a paladin or having paladin type magic, but is clearly lying about this. And for a second, this sort of smell kicks up, like mulled wine and s'mores and just sweet things. While Cass is grinning at you, that, as you can read, the very faint stress and lie in his face.
Hathor will lean in really close to his ear and just go, "You should practice more. You have a very big towel." Sorry if that
What?
sounded bad. I don't know.
I just couldn't hear what the first part was. I'm sorry.
I lean in close and I say,
You're gonna cut it off. You're gonna cut that out, Drew. I swear to fucking God,
I
I'm
got it.
so
I got it.
embarrassed.
I got you.
I just didn't want to shout into the microphone, but
You're all
Hathor's
good.
gonna lean in really close and go, "You have a very clear tell, darling. So just work on that a little bit. But you did kind of tell me the truth, so I'll give you my secret." And she'll lean back and address the group. What did Walter say about Hathor? I refuse to use his real name now. It's Keurig all over again.
I'm not even sure who that is.
Keurig.
Exactly.
Winter Scott Key basically talked about your lineage.
I was coughing and wheezing in the corner, so I didn't quite catch what he was saying about me. He's like, "I have this thing over here," and I'm like, "Hold on."
Oh god.
He said
I'm gonna throw up.
he said some unsavory things regarding your lineage.
I mean, I guess unsavory can be in the eye of the beholder, but I am the product and the culmination of a great love between a succubus, my mother, and an angel, my father.
Ooh.
My goddess is Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and I am living proof that love conquers all. I do not advertise my lineage, as it can cause some uncomfortable contradictions for certain people in how they view the world and what is good and what is bad. Generally, saying I'm a tiefling is easier, but I am not ashamed of it.
Thank you for sharing that with us. You do not owe us anything, but we appreciate you feeling comfortable to share your truth.
You don't owe us anything, etc. Also, so your parents are like still together?
But of course, happily.
I'm not going to lie to you,
Inseparable.
Hathor. That is much more wholesome than the secrets I usually collect, but collected I will. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yes. My mother is a high priestess of the Grand Temple in the Arbor. I'm also getting the impression that mayhaps I should not advertise that I'm a pirate amongst these people.
You're a pirate?
Of course.
That's fun. I do like that.
Born and raised in the Palm itself. This is my first adventure outside its borders. I do wish to spread love wherever I go. And also maybe correct some miscommunications about the feeling that have arisen in my goddess's absence, you know. But yes, proudly.
If you don't mind me asking, what's your father's name?
His name is Galadriel.
Can I make a history check? Would I know that name?
Ooh.
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 Yes, I will allow that. Yeah.
Can I also do that?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yay!
He's not Fey Fiend or undead.
That's
so
a
I'm good.
hot 2.
You want me to also tell you about my mother? Maybe you know my mother as well.
Nah. I got a 9.
Sherry,
Oh no.
your memories of before, at least for right now, it's regimented training. It was eat, sleep, wake, train, repeat. Through that, if you really dug through your memories a bit more, you may kind of have heard whispers or like kind of communications about like those above that would would discuss it. But right now, you can't just pull it out of your hat. Make sense?
Yeah.
I don't think Hathor would have a picture of her father, but she would have a little painting of her mother that she keeps. I think, like, not on her body, but in her pack of things, and so she will proudly open the locket to everybody, and it's like, it's that big. It's a pretty good sized locket, and she'll go, and this is my beautiful mother.
Aww.
Her name is Mary.
Mary.
Can I make a history check? Do I know anything about Mary?
Yes, I'll allow that. And Cass, if you wish to do that, you may as well.
Get advantage on this.
Blair Salt, if you also want to jump in on this, feel free.
11.
I got a 15.
Cass, in terms of like, I'm gonna say you've heard the name Mary tossed around when listening for rumors within some of these castles. Simply because it's like, because imagine to live in that reality is like fiction to the people here. And so kind of like the idea of like, I hear the rumor that there's this succubi named Mary who became a priest, and it like so you have heard this information before. Cherie, do you want me to say this information or do you want me to text it to you privately?
Ooh.
It's me.
Damn
wait. No, we're in the same room. Do you want to come over here and whisper?
Oh, absolutely.
Or do you want me to
Whisper!
or yeah, okay.
Whisper! Let's go! That's so exciting.
Scrungle his way on over to you. Secrets.
Secrets.
This episode of D&D is brought to you by us. We don't have any sponsors. You put Angry Orchard away. They're not paying us for this.
Good. Oh, yeah.
It's brought to you by all the dice we've bought ourselves.
It's brought to you by... Oh, this is what I should have done.
Keep them entertained.
Yeah.
That feels so good to do. Oh, is that stimulation I see?
Yes, it is. Okay, there we go. Ooh, she's taking notes. She's writing it down.
Can I do an insight? You're muted.
Oh, you're also still muted, by the way. I can hear you through.
Sorry, I was just saying. I'm not writing anything. I'm just writing the alphabet.
No.
Shut the fuck up.
Staying generic.
Lying is a sin.
Now, here's the thing, Kate. Cherie's interpretation of that can be what you may, because it could be like initial information that kind of like evolves, but that's what you were given. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your father is a very lucky man.
Insight check on all these motherfuckers.
I'm just telling him.
You better be nice to my mom or I'm kick your ass.
Anyone that was telling the truth, you get advantage. I mean, like, I'm gonna keep it real with you.
19.
Yeah, she was genuine.
Cool.
Genuinely glad.
Yeah. So, what did I get? I got a 17, and Cass is being honest.
I'm very protective of my mom, okay?
Hawthorne nuts around the COD lobby.
Cass is very honestly being like, yeah, your mom is hot.
All of them. They're about to ruin some preteen assholes' lives. What you say about my mom? Oh, found your IP address. Go fuck yourself.
Sir Bumperdinger, do you wish to share your... You do not have to, but if you're willing to satiate the Viscount's needs.
I'd like it if you did. Because it wasn't even like a thing. It was just like weirdness. I've never sensed that before. It was weird.
I have a secret as I'm like looking down and trying to think of how to put this together. The other day, I woke up to discover an apparition of wine haunting me, and I don't know what that means. Do you know anything about wine apparitions, Mr. Viscount Pavelster?
Do I?
Yeah.
Can I make a roll about it?
Oh, you
Can I also make a roll about it?
This is gonna
Can I
be
make
wine
a
ghost?
religion check?
I'm gonna say, okay, this is gonna be kind of weird. So make whatever check you think would be most appropriate, and I'll kind of like flavor the answer for you. Make sense?
Okay.
My religion is better, but it simply wouldn't be religion to cast.
I got
I'll do
a
religion.
I got a 15 history.
History,
I got a 13 Arcana.
13 Arcana,
10 religion.
10 Religion.
Look at us
Covering
covering
our
all our
bases.
bases.
Let's go!
I
Look at
don't know
us.
what any other secrets my character would be keeping. So this is what I've got for now.
Wine ghost.
Just kind of being fair
Yeah.
about it, like more information may come a bit later, and you can investigate other kind of strange occurrences like that. Cass and Hathor, that is strange enough and kind of abstract enough that you don't really have any initial, like, at least no initial personal like aha moment surrounding it. But I will say that Cherie, and I'll say by like all of you because you were all present, you remembered Winter Scott Key refer to Blurceau and mention something called the blood of the world. And so you would all remember this. Cherie, with a 15, you got a 15 history, correct?
Yes. Yes.
With a 15 history, you get the sense that you would need to do more research on it, but it's like blood of the world. That doesn't that sounds like something similar to the Coven in the way of like, that's not the name of like a new age kind of invention. That sounds like something that's ancient, like ancient history-esque. Just in the way that it was spoken of and in the crude, tactful description that it has. But you need to do more research to learn more about it. That kind of makes sense?
Gotcha. I'm sure along our journeys we'll find, if not libraries, people who may have answers, but at the time I do not. I apologize, Sir Bumperdinger.
That's all right. I wasn't expecting much, I guess. Unless one of you all was secretly a wine ghost specialist.
I'm sure we could find a wine wizard.
Ooh.
You're looking at him
So I'm sure that exists. I would imagine it would exist somewhere in this country.
without a goddamn doubt. Yes, it does.
Wizard? Wine.
Wine wizard.
Wizard.
Don't we just
Question
call
mark.
those
That's
level
all
3
what I am.
sommeliers?
Huh?
That's true. Say that
Don't we
again.
just call them level 3 sommeliers?
So true.
About to make a
That's
whole
like
home
having
brew.
your PhD in wine or something.
That's a sommelier, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, Blurceau, that perhaps we can figure out this weirdness on our journey. And second of all, if you see another wine ghost, try to collect some. I'll never turn down a free drink.
Noted. I'm not sure how they would feel about being drank or if they would be tasty,
Oh.
but certainly worth an experiment, I guess.
If you drink the wine of the wine ghost, do you become possessed by the wine ghost? What happens if more than one person drinks the wine of the wine ghost?
That is a good question. That's like if you bite a vampire, do they become human?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe that's
we
another
met the
experiment.
one vampire. Did any of us get a chance to bite him?
I didn't
I
bite
think
it.
did
Don't
I?
think so.
Did I? I bit him. He didn't
Oh,
turn
shoot.
into a human.
Did you?
Yes.
Well,
yes,
he would have
you
turned
did-
into a Nephilim.
But you aren't a human, right?
Huh?
But
Yeah.
you aren't a human, right?
Yeah. I don't.
Cherie,
think he
did you
turned
get close
into-
enough to bite him? Turn him into
No.
an Aeson?
Well, I did get close enough, but no, I did not bite him.
He didn't taste very good.
Would you like to?
No.
We're trying to do an experiment. Okay.
So, what about that weather, huh?
And as the sun is high above you, as clouds begin wafting in front, giving some much needed shade, as you all begin to perspire just a bit, having been on the road now for several hours, you're able to make camp and settle in. And I'm only going to ask you to do this once. On the road, kind of riding rough, how would you guys settle in for the evening, kind of like making camp? What would each of your personal like dwellings or routines look like? Does that kind of make sense?
I think Cherie would build a fire. She would chop wood for the fire. Yeah, she would like huck logs and chop them with her sword. Get a fire together.
Fuck this woman.
And she'd be able to figure out how to like get a light, but would turn to the group, say, anyone magically attuned willing to lend a hand? Lady Hathor.
Flames. I don't know if that lets you make a flames or not.
Don't use a spell if it's like a spell slot, you know.
Well, we're going
I
to sleep.
don't have any fire magic whatsoever. So you don't have like Tinder? I have a Tinder box.
I do as well, but I meant if anyone wanted to lend themselves magically, but there's no need to.
Fire's kind of my whole deal. So.
I didn't want to presume, Lady Hathor. Thank you.
Yes. Of course. Happy to help.
Thank you.
I think what Hathor would do, I don't want to interrupt if you're still going, bud. Hathor would have flown up high and found a good spot to camp. Just knowing the, like, basically scouting, making sure that, like, and 100 feet to that direction, there's a whole band of goblins, you know? Like,
yeah.
Finding a nice place to camp, and then, helping Cherie get the light.
Okay. As you were able to kind of just do a quick flyby of the environment, the sun just ever so slightly beginning to touch the horizon to the west, you're able to come to the top of one of these kind of golden hills, just the roaming countryside of Allatour, east of the capital. And with this, you are able to see, as you travel along the Queen's Road, you are able to see just off in the distance, like almost undetectable just from how the shadows are now being cast from the setting sun. You're able to see the wide forests of the ancient glade that the Queen's Road runs into, but long before then, with certain carts, you know, miles and miles off, you see small campfires begin to as other travelers similar to yourselves begin making camp, as you realize that besides some small thatches of trees, nothing much of note in your scouting. As then Cherie can begin chopping wood, and Hathor, you can help set the fire.
And to Hathor's point, while I trust her to scout a good area for us, I would also just on the ground do a little patrol to make sure that we're safe.
Okay. Just give me a quick perception check.
Can I give her advantage from my high flying?
Yeah, sure.
Bet. Perception, that's a 17.
17.
Nice.
As really kind of like, you just focus yourself in very quickly. You close your eyes. Maybe you kind of just take a knee, just kind of like really training your senses just kind of on your ears and on your eyes and whatever other like kind of perceptions you wish to do. Although there are the distant howling of wolves as the moon begins to rise, nothing of note surrounding at least the first 100, maybe 200 yards around you.
Then I think satisfied, she would just like settle herself against a log and make herself comfortable.
Okay. Cass and Blurso, any way of kind of setting up your own camp or getting yourself comfortable?
Cassiano, seeing both Hathor and Cherie doing a good job covering the perimeter and everything, is gonna just kind of like, looks good to me, and is going to like lay out the sleeping bag, is going to undo his long red braid and just spend a very long time brushing it, counting every single stroke. Just like 1, 2, 3. And eventually puts it up in a big top knot on his head to prepare for sleep.
You have like a silken cap that you wrap around it.
Oh yeah. Silk pillowcase and everything. and is going to pull out some of like the fancy food that he brought with him, like fully pulls out like a wine glass and pours some wine from a flask and is just like sitting on his sleeping bag while Cherie and Hathor are like patrolling. He's just watching Cherie chop wood.
As
it's just like, traveling is just so hard on the body, really.
Yes, it is.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
As Cass, as you are able to kind of like get that wine out, you're able to look over to Alwyn, the mule, just kind of shake a little bit, and just as the sun disappears below the horizon and night fully falls upon you, you're able to watch as Alwyn goes and fully falls over to one side and
died.
Explodes into leaves and dirt and vines. As you remember that Alwyn came from a magical item that is Summon Mule, and the mule lasts for basically 1 day, and then has to be recast again the next day.
Already like a glass and a half in, Cass is like, Alwyn, my mule, he exploded! He blew up!
I think he'll be back.
Did you get him from a stable, or?
Sees the ring and is like, right. No fear. Have no fear. Alwyn will be back in the morning. It will be all right. No need to worry, everyone.
Do you imagine how mean of a DM I'd be if it's like, okay, so...
So your mule dies.
One of your horses has a stroke and just fully passes on. Holy shit.
Oh my goodness. That
reminds me of the game. That reminds me of the game World of Tanks, where they in the early stages they wanted to have it be so accurate that sometimes you would spawn in and your tank just wouldn't work, because apparently that was so common in World War II. But players were like, "What the fuck? Why can't I play the game?"
Or it just didn't work, and you just died. Nice shot. You don't have good luck this time.
Try again.
Oh,
and Blurso, any idea of how you would be relaxing after your first day of travel?
I have one question. Did anyone have like a big tent for all of us, or are we kind of just like out in the elements?
I think we all have like our bedrolls, so we're kind of like out, open air.
I'll say I have with me, I guess, one of those, just like just picture in your mind whatever a cartoon tent looks like, and it's just exactly that, with like the two poles sticking up with like the I don't know how to describe it when you make a tent, but it's just like as if you took a triangle and then just like extruded the triangle a bit. Yeah, I just have one of those for myself.
I'll definitely say that just like for convenience sake, you would absolutely have just like a very basic, like basically kind of like a frontiersman tent, where it's basically 2 iron pokes with an iron bar in between them, and you just kind of like throw some cloth over it and weigh it down with stones. It's only big enough for maybe like a few inches out from your shoulder width, but it will protect you from the wind and the elements that you can sleep in.
Nice. Alrighty. And I think we have a fire going, so I'm gonna set that up near to the fire so I can have part of me be warm if I need to.
Your feet are sticking out.
Over the course of the night, we'll swap back and forth between whether my feet or face is near the fire, the embers, so I can. It's like I get the cold side of the pillow for either my head or my feet, depending on the time.
Blur's one of the kind of people who like fully does a 360 in his sleep, just moves around so much.
He's the kind of person, if you sleep next to, you'll wake up with their foot in your rib.
You were snoring. Anything else that wants to be said before you guys kind of settle in for the evening and we begin to kind of fast forward the travel a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
I would imagine Hathor has brought them to be like around trees, like in maybe a little bit clearing, like at the edge of the forest or whatever, somewhere that isn't just open plains. and she would like to fly up to the tallest branch that will still support her weight and just feel the breeze almost comb itself through her hair as she is going to pray to her goddess and just start, like, she will spend probably an hour and a half up in the treetops, just first just settling herself and connecting, and she feels the warmth of the it's not a circlet because that goes around your head, but like the band of gold at her throat, and she will just try and talk to her goddess and try and communicate with her.
Okay. I will certainly say that the hill that you all are all stationed on, of course, there is a bit of a clearing that you are currently set up on, but maybe 30, 40 yards down the hill, there is a small collection of maybe a dozen trees and a small still water pond. And Hathor, as you land yourself into the tallest branch of the tallest tree there, maybe only 25 feet into the air. You know, it's not any kind of like dense forest of sequoias. It's more just it's more like, you know, park trees, things of that sort. And you're able to look down. You're able to see a mother white-tailed deer circle around 2 or 3 does, and then kind of set herself down in for the evening as well. As you set yourself upon the branch and you begin to pray. What does Hathor do as she prays? Does she say anything?
I think it's very, very structured, because that's the environment she grew up in, and I think Mary has taught her all the songs, all the spells, all, like, even if she can't cast them, she has it memorized. And I think she will just sincerely offer herself to her goddess, and ask for guidance, as well as just in a little bit of a way of like a child seeking attention from their mother, like just ask her to cast a friendly eye on her.
Simple and regimented prayer on a peaceful evening, and you understand that in this moment, like all of the moments in your life, Aphrodite is shining down upon you as you are able to look up, and although a small shadowed crescent is beginning to appear, you're able to gaze up at the beauty of the mostly full moon. And just having that kind of just natural, constant presence, it fills you with resolve in a way, as you understand that whatever path this journey may set you on, Aphrodite will be with you every step of the way, and her protections, sometimes very obvious, sometimes very obscure, are going to be ever present with each step you take. Make sense?
She will just almost obsessively just go through the like ritual of it and then close it out, and will sort of hop off the branch / slide off of it, fall a few feet, and then catch herself on her broom and fly back to the group.
And with an effort, you have so much air awareness. You are a natural when it comes to having no points of contact with anything and just free falling as you are able to effortlessly catch your broom and fly back off to your camp.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
You know what? I was gonna cast a spell, but I don't think I'm gonna.
Bold choice. We'll see how that affects you later. No. No, I'm just fucking around. Anybody else? Any other nightly routines?
I will say, as Cherise settles herself against a log and gets ready for bed, to get herself ready for bed. And along the road, she has been writing a letter. And before bed, she, as she's sitting by the fire, writes the last lines, thinking of, while it's only been her home for a time, she still thinks of the LaCroix estates, and tucks the letter into her bag and just lies. She doesn't spread out at all, just lies down. And is the kind of person who falls asleep immediately once her head hits the pillow.
You're able to see Sherry the moment her head hits the matted wool of her bedroll. It's just immediate. Just only nose breathing, heavy chest raising, immediately out. Immediately. You're muted.
Cass is just sitting there still with his glass of wine and kind of like reaches a hand over Cherie's face and is just like
dead to the world.
Frightening. It's frightening. But like, also, I'll say that perhaps we should keep watch and switch off.
Hathor is sprawled out
some shit
on the
on
ground.
us.
Just...
Lorso, may I wake you up for watch eventually, since they have simply decided to.
Hey, we built the camp.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we'll make sure that we bother them to do this, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
Alrighty. I guess I'll watch for the first part. In case anyone tries to kill us.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you, I appreciate this. I'm just gonna sneak into my tent here and goodbye as I lower the flap over myself.
There you go.
Sherry,
I am certainly. Oops, sorry, go.
No, please go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm certainly the best person to keep watch with my -2 wisdom.
Okay.
My perception is flat, my wisdom is ass.
As Sherry sleeps like the dead, Blurso begins toasting his dogs, and as Hathor curls up after a night of prayer.
What does that mean?
Because your feet are facing the fire.
Oh, I see.
Cass, just give me. So I'm just gonna be very honest. I'm just gonna roll through everybody very quickly. Cass, just give me a quick perception check. Just hit a nat 20 for me.
Just hit a nat 20. 8.
Okay,
Close. Close on the dice.
Because I'll be very honest with you. There is nothing in the immediate area that is good. Because with all the scouting, the roads and the environment closest to the capital are still heavily patrolled, and it seems like the further east you go, closer to like where this incident occurred, the stronger the chaos, like the magical occurrences, will become. And so right now you're in like the safest possible area you could be in. But I will say, just kind of hinting towards things. Blurso, give me a perception check. Hit a nat 20.
One of us is gonna do it.
It's an 18.
18, close, no cigar. Blurso, an uneventful watch. Sherry and Hathor, just quickly give me a perception roll. Tell me if you hit at 20.
13.
13?
Oh, wait, perception?
Mm-hmm.
No, total 15.
In all honesty, a peaceful evening of maybe 5-6 hours of sleep for each of you, just kind of as watch kind of gets cycled through. But overall, uneventful. No sounds of bandits, no sounds of animals migrating. Maybe in the early morning around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, you're able to hear and you're able to hear the mother deer and her fawns kind of wake up and just begin trotting along and then begin exploring around again. But besides that, no activity around you. Relatively peaceful night as the sun begins rising.
Nice.
Of course.
Nice.
And as there are 2 horses and one magical broom, Cass, you must resummon Alwyn and reload and resaddle him with all of your stuff.
Mule! Let there be mule!
And you watch as the
My boy!
the clump of earth and weeds and grass and dirt begin to reform, and you're able to watch as hoofs, basically like within the hoof prints of where Alwyn was standing the night previous, you're able to watch as, starting with the hoofs and then moving up to the body and then the head, these earthen materials reform into Alwyn very quickly. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. With all of that, do you guys continue on your travels?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. As you continue on your travels, where do you guys want to go first? Is there a place you want to stop?
I gotta look at the map.
I got the map open.
Do we go into the wilderness or to civilization?
The road is always safest.
Are we allowed to make any, like, history checks about things of note in these places?
Oh my god, absolutely you can.
Yeah.
Everybody give me a history check, yeah.
Nat 1.
Excellent.
Should I probably only have like a little travel pamphlet of like
I'll take
things
that
to see.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
We're so please save us.
I got an 8.
I got 2.
What happens to us?
I'm not even
What
sure.
happens to us?
Okay.
We tried to see all your cool stuff. We promise.
We tried so hard to let you tell us your lore.
I'm not even
we
sure.
just rolled too bad.
I'm not even sure what to say to those.
Can we roll again?
Well, and I will say, like, in all honesty, so no rolling again, but what I will say is that it kind of makes sense for Cherie and Cass. As experienced as you both are at traveling, you have primarily done so in the company of nobles and noble caravans. Therefore, diverting away from the roads has not been something that you have frequently done. And Blurceau, mainly spending your time within the Beset Palace, and Hathor only just arriving here, you guys don't really have the experience to know if you'd even run into anything bad if you went off the beaten path. It's just that foreign to you, honestly. Make sense?
Yeah.
I have never gone off the road, therefore we should stay on the road.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's safest.
There, yeah.
Okay.
It'd be stupid to get killed over some curiosity.
Put it like that.
Curiosity will get us elsewhere.
Let it be
It
known that
gets me worse when you say it like that.
Think of all the things, Cass.
I am
Hiding
leading.
in the
I am
forest.
turning my horse towards the road. You may follow me, or you may suffer your own consequences.
There could be things in there. There could be whatnot that I've never seen before.
secrets.
There could be
Great.
things on the road, too.
Thank you, Sir Bumperdinger. There are things on the road.
This very much feels like a mom with her kids on a road trip being like, no, how about we go to the trains diorama building instead of the weird, creepy underpass with all the rocks and homeless people under it?
We
Come on,
cannot go
children.
look at the graffiti. We are going to see the world's largest wicker chair.
We don't have time in our schedule to explore.
and again, I just want to be very clear about it. I'm not suggesting that, like, if you go off the road, immediate danger. I just mean to say that, like, this is a relatively safe section of the world in terms of the reports that have been coming in so far. I just mean to say, like, you guys wouldn't know of, like, a secret underground, like, hobbit hole over there, or like, a raid of like, you know what I'm talking? Like, it's if you're rolling the dice, basically.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because this isn't a desolate wasteland, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
This isn't GTA 5.
This isn't Fallout where there's gonna be like 8 Deathclaws up your ass the moment you leave the road.
Wop bamboo, wop bamboo.
What a guy named Butcher Pete.
What a guy named Butcher Pete. He's hacking, he's whacking, he's smacking.
He's whacking, he's smacking.
And he's gonna
Shout out to
kill
the Fallout
my
fans.
fucking kids. Okay.
Anyways.
But I think due to Cherie's lack of knowledge, I think she would rather have that safety of the road to compensate for her lack of knowledge.
Understandable. Now, and
Let's
just
go to a village.
okay. Now, of course, there is voir les villages. That is like the first. That could be the first stop. However, if you would like to bypass, because again, you were able to go off of the roads, because again, there are certain, I guess, shortcuts and cut-throughs if you wish to avoid having to travel through certain locations. So there's no need to go into voir les villages. If you wish to go into the Ancient Glade or Travers du or de la Colline, it is up to you.
I kind of want to go to the coast.
I remember you. I thought I heard you mentioning the Fertile Coast or just the coast.
I think that was said in private to my mom in a bathtub.
Okay, no, I was asking above table. That's just that's okay.
I was asking the universe.
Hathor's just like, what the fuck?
I'm in the walls.
She was checking the perimeter.
Mm-hmm. It would take longer, but we could get to the coast by stopping in Voir des Villages, and then de la Colline,
Sure.
and then stopping at the coast.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Honestly, wherever the wind takes us.
Well, the wind is taking us this way.
Excellent.
The wind is taking us on the road.
On the road again.
And eastbound and down.
Loaded up and
trucking.
I'm sorry, I just think about why did I park so far away?
Why did I park so far
So-
away? Okay, so voir les villages, correct?
yes.
Perfect. As
Yeah,
you
the
guys can
giggles.
text Darby and Tony about what that meme is.
When we take a break, we'll fill you
Yeah,
off.
exactly. So just kind of setting. So 3-4 days do pass. The weather maintaining for all of them. Again, merchants passed by, simple villagers, those kind of heckling for money on the side of the road. Just kind of like, of course, every few hours or so. This is not like a densely populated strip or anything, due to the time that you guys took getting away, just kind of staying within the capital. But as you travel on the Queen's Road, again, you remember the rolling mounds of earth, and now those seemingly endless evergreen forests that you saw off in the distance by several days now kind of loom to your east as you are now traveling south on the Queen's Road toward Voir les Villages. You are also able to notice, kind of just looming, which it was looming in the background before, but now as you kind of come upon it, the first or possibly last, depending on the direction, mountainside of the Whitecap Hook, the mountain range that surrounds Travers du, the Dubois estates. And here, in this final mountainside, you will find Voir les Villages, also known as Voir for short, if you don't want to say the whole thing. It's the last charted village before villagers enter into the Ancient Glade on the path towards the Dubois Castle. You're able to see a modest village laid out before you as you approach. Most of the buildings are only maybe one floor, the tallest structure being a 2-floored inn and tavern towards the crowded trade district near the center. But largely about across maybe a mile or two, you're able to see scattered homes every few dozen yards, dirt pathways leading in between them to center travelways. You're able to see certain pens with chickens and pigs and cows and livestock of the sort, with these simple structures having foundations of stone with thatched roofs of brown and green reeds. Past the village, about maybe 3 miles to the south of it, you're able to see, again, the mountain of Whitecap Hook, as the simple grassy ground transforms into rough, rocky terrain, just kind of leading to the mountain base, which then shoots upward into a steep wall of gray and brown rock. As the clouds are swept away by the wind, the peak of this mountain is revealed miles into the sky. And for a few minutes, the entirety of the white-capped summit of this great mound of stone is revealed to you. As you travel into Voir les Villages, as the buildings begin to pass on your left and your right. And you're immediately able to see something on this morning which catches your eye. outside of a building towards the trade district, near the center of town, you're able to see a crowd of maybe 30, 35 people having formed outside. And it all seems like they're shouting and agitated in some way. You're able to see a man and a woman stand on a horseless cart, and they're, again, still far enough away you can't really hear what they're saying, but they're yelling with a passion that grants them like some kind of authority over the crowd. It seems like people are kind of bending to what they're saying. And just as they kind of finish their long rant, you're able to see kind of stepping out of the sheriff's building. It almost looks like a younger man wearing oversized knight's armor and like kind of brandishing a shield in front of him, and the crowd then directs their anger towards this younger man. And with that, we're going to take a very short break. And then we get into our first little side quest to Allatour. Are we all still having a good time?
Yes.
Yes,
Wee
yes,
wee.
yes, and yes. The vibes are very chill. I hope it is coming through as fun. And because the one complaint I always hear is that travel can be a little bit boring for people. And so I hope this is still engaging and fun for everybody. And if
Absolutely.
Having a great time.
Absolutely.
But yes, we're going to take a very quick break, and then we'll be back. I hope everybody's having a good time, and we will see you guys soon.
Woo! Yeah.
It's a rewind time.
Yar, it's rewind time.
That's hot.
Is the music playing?
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Oh, damn.
Oh, imagine if I had thought at all about what we would do about this crowd. Imagine if I planned during the
fictional characters.
Just imagine.
Imagine that world.
Crazy.
Let me just get back to my notes right here. Yes. Man, thank God we stopped talking about the Critical Role spoiler just before we went live. Could you imagine? Imagine if Red Samurai was like, I can't wait to go watch Critical Role after this. We would just blow the whole thing.
We won't. Thank you for watching.
Also, yeah, anybody that's watching right now, thank you so much. We deeply appreciate it. And thank you for joining us. We are amazed that people like this. Okay, but yes, so.
Woo. Back to the action.
Oh, this is way too loud. Wait, the audio's all out of whack. Hold on. I need to fiddly-dee, twiddly-dee. There we go. Okay, awesome. So.
Also, Drew, you're welcome, because when the video reloaded, it made me host, and I very quietly made you host again.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. Although I would have really enjoyed just watching you do that power play. It would have truly made me weep on camera to not have control over the music. It's like, it's gonna ruin the audio for the editing.
Why are we listening to Hatsune Miku?
They all started dancing in sync.
I can't see the end of the horizon. Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune Miku says, respect trans rights or become the dirt I walk on.
Yes.
So, with this crowd of 30, 35 in front of you, as they all begin kind of just being, you guys really are able to hear like
30 to 35 Hatsune Mikus.
Exactly, yes. all anime protagonists, as they just begin, this like kind of younger boy going, boo, and just begin, just kind of mobbing on him a little bit. What do you guys do as you approach?
I do want to, real quick,
yes,
if I can, do my divine sense and see if there are any celestial fiends, undead, that are not my current traveling companions.
Okay, as you kind of pop that off, all these people seem human.
Okay. Good to know.
No, you go.
I meant to establish this beforehand, but Cherie's horse very much kind of looks like her. It's big. No, like how owners look like their pets.
Okay,
no,
this
is
that was just such a funny way to put that.
Fuck.
This Fabio has horse with its hair like going in the wind.
It is a big midnight workhorse with like a long black mane and just very sturdy. Like it's like a Budweiser horse but in black. Clydesdale.
Yep.
That makes the thing so cursed.
They're fucking huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
And anyway, so that's what Cherie is currently mounted on.
Yes. On my little mule next to your huge Clydesdale.
Yeah. But Cherie will find a place to. Oh my god!
I'm sorry, that was my immediate thought.
Oh god.
Oh,
Apologies.
what the fuck?
If anyone knows what
Yes!
boyfriend is, that's where my brain went.
Oh my
I just got a
god.
picture of like Cherie's kind of very flat expression, and the horse also has a flat expression.
No, it doesn't look like Cherie. They just have similar likeness. It's,
No,
it's
that's
a
what I'm
big.
saying. Yeah.
It's a
That they
big
both have
horse.
similar "don't fuck with me" energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but it is a horse. It is not a. It's not. She's not. No.
We've already established that Cherie can get it, so it's not like we're calling her ugly.
Yeah.
Look at
No,
it.
but
Look at it.
I didn't mean an uncanny valley situation. Anyway, she hitches her giant horse somewhere like a couple paces before the crowd. Actually, no. She'll straight up to the crowd on her horse. Not like we'll keep her distance, but like we'll get closer to it and call out to the crowd. Excuse me. What is the meaning of this?
As you call it, anybody else do anything to the crowd as you approach?
I make my mule go away before we go up so that maybe they'll take me seriously.
Give me a quick stealth check.
Stealth, you say?
Yeah.
Stealth, you say?
Where are all my numbers?
Oh no.
I would like
I have
to...
disadvantage on stealth because of my armor. The first one was a 3. The second one was a natural 20! It's the disadvantage though, so it's a 5. I'm so loud.
Well, the fun is, as Cherie kind of like confidently struts up to the crowd, everybody's able to look over as like she calls out, and everybody sees you cast pull off into an alley, get off of your horse, sorry, get off your mule, hit your mule, and then emerge and run after Cherie, just like clang, 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 as all the armor is just giving you away. Blurso, Hawthorne, anything you want to do?
Can I use all of that to stealth behind a building and cast Alter Self to make me look like a human?
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely, you can do that. As you, yeah. Give me salt. You got that right.
15.
15?
Stealth.
Yeah, sure. All rolls with disadvantage. They have like a +1 because there's humans. Yeah. You're able to just kind of, as everybody kind of looks over at Cherie and Cass, you're able to pop over. How do you make yourself look like a human?
My Alter Self is a 2nd level spell and it lasts for 8 hours. I think, I don't know if it's still an illusion.
Okay.
I think it's not an actual transformation. No, it's transmutation. So
Okay.
cool. I think her hair will still stay the same bubblegum pink, but her horns will disappear, and her teeth will blunt into
okay.
a regular sharpness of teeth. Her eyes will take on an amber iris, with a black pupil, and her golden freckles will remain the same. Just a little bit uncanny, but not, so obvious.
So your appearance now is like, you are fully human. Like the gold freckles, it's like, okay, maybe some like elven heritage, something like that. But like,
yes.
distant on your mother's side. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Where it's like, it's been
I'm 10% elven.
Why do you think you're 10% elf?
What?
As we Blurso, any way of addressing the crowd? Any preparations?
I don't think that I will address the crowd. I'm gonna be honest, I'm secretly wondering to myself why we're not just traveling past this crowd entirely.
Okay.
But I'll wait and see what happens, I guess.
Okay, got it. Also, can someone please show?
And I want to try blending in with the crowd too.
Oh, so you just want to engross yourself into them,
Yes.
like as a people. Okay, got it. No problem. Can someone please show the image that Tony just sent to the memes and media's chat? Because that shit is horrifying.
I got it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Your
Horse
horse posting.
images.
I wanted to join in the horse posting.
Perfect.
Thank you for your service.
And I'll just make another with your stealth check before. I'll just make another perception with disadvantage. Yeah, even with that, Hawthorne kind of like, as Sherry and Cass kind of like call attention to themselves, one unintentionally, one intentionally, you're able to kind of just like slip into the crowd, kind of get like maybe 5-10 people deep. That sound good?
Yeah.
You are able to, Sherry, as you call out, give me a quick performance check to see like how well you can kind of like capture these people's attention.
Can I help her?
Can he help me?
Yes, I will say yes.
Thank you, because I rolled a nat 1. I rolled another nat 1. What the fuck?
This happened last time too.
I think on the same dice.
Throw it away.
Fuck this guy.
Everybody...
As I approach, I say, we are here on assignment from Castle Untre to help the people of Allatour in any way we can in these difficult times.
Okay, so here's how we're gonna rule this. Cherie, as you go, so what do you say again to like kind of capture attention?
What is the meaning of this?
What is the meaning of this? Everybody turns and goes, huh? Boo! And starts booing, and just starts booing you immediately. Hawthorne, it's like everybody turns in unison, and you're the only person kind of like, what the fuck? And they just start yelling at Sherry very quickly. Cass, the booing is so loud that you are completely overshadowed and being like, we're on official business from boo. Give me a quick persuasion.
All right, maybe I have something important to say. Give him a try.
Give me a quick performance or persuasion check to kind of like yell over the booing.
Persuasion. Oh, bestie, it's persuasion.
Wait, who? Cass? Yes.
21.
Okay.
21.
Hawthorne, you being able to go, all right, maybe we should let him speak, shouldn't we?
I've been around pirates my whole life. I know how to do this.
They only, yes, exactly. The arbor isn't that well versed in polite conversation, as everybody quickly is like, and just kind of like calms down a little bit with you kind of like shouting that out as one person goes, I don't think you live here. What? Who are you?
No, I will have thrown my voice to do it.
Okay, of course. As Cass, as you give your presentation, I kind of say that you're able to see the man and the woman on top of the cart kind of turn and address both of you. You're able to see the man, roughly 40 years old. He's dressed in a red robe. He's dressed in a red robe coat, like pliss adornments around his neck. He's got like a wide black satin hat with a monocle, and his eyes, he's clearly like tired and stressed out. He's got like bags under there, just the works. And you are able to see the woman standing next to him, kind of like the same color pattern, like red and black dress. She has like golden bracelets like around her wrist. She has like a black shawl around her shoulders, and she has like smudged and smeared makeup and unkempt hair. But both these people seem to like be in kind of like a rough way. As they both look to you, everybody kind of calms down, and the man goes, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of you? And kind of calls out to you, Sherry, as the woman goes, official business from Castle Untre. Who are you? Just having no idea who you guys are.
We are Les Jolies. We are
very pretty.
We are a recent troop of adventurers sent by the king and queen of Castle Untre, sent out to seek answers to help stop what is plaguing this country as of late and help the people of Allatour on the way. But if you do not need our help, then we will be on our way.
All of these people kind of like look around and they hear that presentation, and they all go like, you kind of hear like, I'm sorry. Like words of apology, because they all just pointed and booed at you, just having no idea who you guys were.
She's so pretty, but I am so scared.
as the man hops off the cart and kind of walks up and goes, now surely you must have documentation of such a thing.
We do, actually, and I will dismount my horse, hitch it, and I will procure the letter from the king and queen.
You dismount your massive black stallion as you're able to hand over your letter. Kind of like takes it from you, delicately and almost like weakly kind of unfurls it, checks over everything, and goes, scrolls it back up, places the wax back, and then hands it back to you, and goes, My sincerest apologies from the town of. I'm so sorry. It's been a stressful few days here. Royal Entourage, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mayor Etienne Roux, and this is my fine wife, Alice Roux. And as you can see, these are the incredibly displeased people of this fine village.
I offer him my hand and I say, Mayor Roux, I am the Honorable Viscount Cassiano Alwind Pavel, dear personal friend to King and Queen Entree. It is a pleasure to meet you and see what we can do to help in this situation.
Please give me a persuasion check with advantage,
Yeah.
25.
25,
Let's
excellent.
go.
Let's go.
Immediately takes your hand and like his eyes light up and he becomes like just so joyful at the, like you get like 2 words into your title and he's already like, this rocks. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
As he goes, that is absolutely perfect, Honorable Viscount. I have heard stories, the king and the queen, correct? If I would have known it was you scuttling out of that alleyway, I would have stopped this ruckus at once.
Oh, thank you. I'm very pleased to hear that.
Did you see how big his mule was? It was very small.
All right, citizens of war.
I speak in Allatour too, by the way.
There's someone who keeps interrupting these fine heroes, and we, if they speak again, we might find them. I'm not sure. We have more important things to do. But yes, Honorable Viscount, and kind of like looks to who it was addressed to and goes, Lady Sherry.
Sir Sherry.
Sir Sherry,
Of House
my
LaCroix.
apologies. Looks to your traveling and goes, I would assume these people are also emissaries of the crown.
Yes.
And by people, I mean the only other person who's currently riding, looks to Blurso and just kind of goes, and your name, sir?
Blurso Bumperdinger. Sir.
Sir Bumperdinger. Excellent. I request that you have a stern talking to with the deputy over there. And he gestures back to the young boy, maybe about 20 years old, in kind of like the ill-fitting armor, and goes, because I believe he's doing this village a grand disservice.
Oh, so?
He is neglecting his duties, and perhaps he would say it to you himself, to sully his name and his position even further. Bo! And they kind of call the young boy over as he begins to ching, 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 and begins to like kind of walk through the crowd towards you guys. You guys are able to kind of you hear like hushed swears and boo, kind of like light boos towards the kid as he like walks towards you. I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt. Give me 1 second. As you can concoct the game plan when I can't hear you.
Get into it.
Get into it. I love Hather in the crowd. Just making little remarks. Shut up about my fucking mule.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm back.
Welcome.
As
I missed you.
as the kid presents himself, he looks and goes, Deputy Bo Lu, as you realize that you guys are probably the most important people that he's ever spoken to in his entire life. He probably has not ventured very far from this village, just like he's probably never talked to many nobles at all, shaking in particular towards Sir Sherry and the Honorable Viscount Cassiano Allen Pavel III, as he just waits to see if you guys have any questions for him.
Shall we take this conversation inside, or I can't imagine you would prefer to have a talk amidst this chaos?
Bo looks and goes, we can have the conversation inside. That would be much preferred, sir, yes.
Of course, lead the way. Sir Lou, was it?
Just Deputy or Bo, many people call me, yes.
Lead the way.
As Bo turns, the crowd kind of like collapses together and kind of blocks the pathway back as you're able to watch Mayor Roux go, and where do you think you're going?
I sort of turn to the crowd.
To Bo specifically.
Oh, okay.
We are doing as you asked. We are having a discussion with the young deputy.
Give me a persuasion check.
Can someone help me? I'm scared.
Can I give advantage
Yes.
from where I am in the crowd? I mean, he's just a little kid.
Oh, okay, that's so much better. Okay. Persuasion?
Yes.
21.
21? Yeah, the mayor looks to you and goes, very well, as it would be insulting to deny pleasantries to emissaries of the capital. But speak quickly, as the matter of my son's life is not one which should be delayed. Everybody, move away from the sheriff's office as the crowd begins to run, and begins to part and let you guys. Yeah, I know. Begins to part and let you guys pass. As Blurso, Sherry, and Cass are able to enter in, Hathor, you are able to stay. Hathor, you're able to stay in the crowd, I guess.
I will just like casually be like, I'm new here. I'm just another human being, you know. I want to find the cutest, most unattached person there and just sidle on up to them and start talking.
Perfect. You are actually able to see, like, tell me if I'm incorrect here, Hathor. Would Hathor enjoy people that are taller?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Okay, not a problem. The most notable person you see here, kind of like, you see basic, simple pantaloons, basic kind of like loose fitting, kind of like.
Oh, the dressings do not matter, darling.
Basic kind of clothing. The most notable person that, and then, you see like farmers and bakers and people like that, people that have been like kind of come away from their shops and their homes. A couple kids have gotten in the action too. But the most notable person that you see is probably like he's like a tall, kind of like dirty man. And when I mean like dirty, I mean like he's covered in like kind of like soot and like grease. And you're able to see like with the thick kind of like black apron that he has on, he looks like a blacksmith. As the crowd kind of like continues to stand outside of the sheriff's house, sheriff's building.
I love a good craftsman. Hello.
Hi.
I'm new here.
You're new?
Yes.
Where? He kind of like looks around and he goes like, where do you live?
Not here, obviously.
To the village? Or to the
Yes.
country? Oh.
I'm speaking in Allatour to him too.
Oh no, of course, yeah. He just like he's like a bit more laid back, kind of confused as he goes like, "My name is Gregory Steele, and I run the forge and the general store
Mr.
here."
Steele. Lovely to meet you. My name is Hathor, and I give him a firm handshake.
He definitely kind of like respects that as he kind of like nods to you and goes like, "But I am aware of all of the family homes here, and I haven't constructed any new ones. Which family have you began staying with?"
Oh, I just got in today.
Oh, so you just...
I like to travel light.
You're a traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome to our small slice of Allatour, and apologies that it's incredibly contentious right now.
I mean, where in this country is it not? So
that much is true. With the sheriff taking the large part of the fighting population, with the disappearance of the mayor's son, it people are up in arms right now.
It's a tense time, of course. That's apologies if I caught you off guard. I just didn't want to make a big fuss, Everybody seems to be trying to deal with their own problems right now, and I didn't want to intrude.
So, well, tempers are high right now, but if after this, when we all disperse, if there is a solution, I'd be happy to show you the forge and the generals. I'll be happy to show you around.
All right, Mr. Steele. We'll talk later.
He catches that and goes like, "We shall," and then he kind of turns back to the mob mentality, I guess, as he just continues waiting for anything to happen with the crowd.
I'm just gonna talk to people like casually and just get information from them that maybe my partners in crime will not get from the mayor.
That's super fucking
Or from the sheriff, from the deputy.
Super fucking cool. Give me a quick investigation check with advantage, because that's awesome.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Big money, no
Natural
whammies.
20!
Yeah!
Let's go!
No whammies at all.
Oh, yeah.
I rolled a 19 and a 20 on my 2 Hathor dice.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna give you
I'm so charming. I'm so pretty. I'm so smart.
You'll get okay. So I'm gonna give you one thing, cut back to inside the sheriff's office, and then give you another thing. That sound good?
Sure. Perfect. Yes.
Would you want to hear about as Gregory just mentioned to you, the disappearance of the sheriff, or do you want to hear about the mayor's son disappearing? You'll get both. I just want to know which one you want first.
I want to pick the one so I'm not like stealing the main talking points from the other group.
Of course. Okay. So in that case, I'll give you
just so we don't have to go over the same information twice.
Of course. In that case, I'll give you the stuff about the sheriff then.
Sure.
Just first and foremost, and I'll give some additive stuff kind of afterwards.
Okie dokie.
So as you kind of just start like milling around, just kind of like, because as people begin like kind of walking, they begin forming kind of like pods, kind of like chatting with themselves, kind of sharing conversation, kind of keeping themselves occupied. They're not just all like kind of stock standing, looking at the door, waiting for something to happen. And as you are walking around, you're able to hear, like, basically it's like you're able to see a mother and basically a man and a woman, a man and a woman, a man and a woman. It seems like 3 couples seemingly, and you're able to hear as one of the couples basically goes like, "They should be back sometime soon. This is, of course, like, I feel like this is all just blown out of proportions, though." And then you're able to hear the second couple go, "Yes, and he always made sure that the boys were in good condition physically and were trained with the blade, so I think they should be able to take care of themselves wherever they are." And you're able to hear the third couple then go, But our sons, 8 of them being taken by the sheriff eastward? It must be serious, though. That is more than just common bandits and horse thieves. That is something of another proportion. Perhaps we should have waited." And then you kind of hear the conversation go to like comfort each other, as these seem to be parents of people. And you're just kind of able to figure this out by context clues. It seems like the sheriff rounded up fighting men, specifically like young men of the village, to go and tackle some problem eastward. And it seems like the parents are pretty worried about that because they haven't come home yet. As we then, that makes sense? Okay, cutting over to inside the sheriff's office as kind of like the rickety wooden door kind of shuts closed. Inside, you're able to see a basic desk with a chair. You're able to see a kind of lit candelabra across it. You're able to see some papers kind of scattered around. Basic, again, only one floor. One kind of black iron cell off to the corner, capable of seating maybe 3, maybe 4 people at most. This is not a very large village, not a very large town. As you kind of step inside, as Bo kind of takes off his breastplate very quickly and kind of puts it like across the desk and goes, "Huh," and just kind of like breathes easy because he was scared having to face down those people.
Well, Deputy Bo, tell me what got that group of people so riled up towards you. What'd you do?
Okay, so
what did you do?
It wasn't me. Stop saying that. I didn't do anything.
I'm just messing with you. Tell me, give me a rundown. Okay. What happened? It's all right.
So again, it's kind of down as he kind of stands in front of it. He stands before you guys. He stands as still as possible, trying to like be very respectful towards your position as he goes, "Well, all the reports coming in of all the different things, we've been lucky enough not to have too many strange occurrences around here. But what happened about I would say maybe 4 or 5 days ago, the sheriff, he got a letter in saying that certain farmers to the east of here within the ancient glade, they were being attacked by poachers of some kind. It seemed like they were going after wolf pelts or something of that sort. And so he gathered, and the report said maybe 5, maybe 6 of them. And so he responded back to the farmers. He had a rider sent out, and he gathered up he gathered up 6 of the kind of the boys that he's been training to kind of work as like a de facto law enforcement around here, and they rode off. They said they'd be gone maybe 2-3 days, as they were just into the forests, only I'd say maybe 7-10 miles away from here, but it's been about 4 or 5 days and no one's come back since then. That already had people scared. But about 2 days ago, the mayor's son went missing. He was visiting. He went into the mountains And again, you got to remember, this village was built not literally in the shadow, but like with a large mountain face about 3 miles to its south. As Bo says, apparently, so the mayor's son, he's been seeing this woman around by the name of her name is Green Stevens. She's the baker's daughter, and they've been courting each other for a very long time. And around here, there is history surrounding going into some ancient ruins within the mountainside. They've been long and active, nothing too serious, and you go there and we believe it to be a theater, and you would go there and through picnics and acts of love, you would put on a display of your courtship of the person, and it's only supposed to take an evening, maybe 2 if they're passionate, but there hasn't been any communication that was going to be longer than that. And with the sheriff and all of the fighting men gone, the mayor is beating down the door now as I'm acting. I'm only a deputy. I'm not qualified to do this. And they're telling me to march off into the ruins and go get them back. But the mayor's son, and it's 2 people, I'm terrified. I don't have the strength. If I couldn't handle what 7 trained men couldn't handle, it's not going to make a difference. And the mountains have always kind of scared me. I've always gotten kind of a bad vibe from there. I'm just not a fan of it.
What kind of bad vibe?
It's an ancient theater, but it's built into the rock. There are you can see it from the outside. We've taken trips there, but besides some watchful carvings, maybe as like for feasting areas, most of it has been inaccessible, with just a main chamber, maybe 3 or 4 floors down by stairway. But besides that, there's no light in there. We always have to go in by torchlight, and sometimes it's romantic to go in by candles, of course. But in the inspection that I did, kind of just riding south, just to kind of see it, I didn't see any of the torches that we lit. None of the braziers were active, so I'm not sure what's going on in there. I rode back and I said I didn't know what happened.
And you believe the mayor's son and the baker's daughter have gone missing in the same place that the sheriff and his men have?
No. So right now, so the sheriff and his men, they rode east into one of the forests of the ancient glade to handle those poachers, to assist the farmers around there. But the mayor's son and the baker's daughter, they rode south in the mountains just as a kind of a romantic kind of courtship kind of occurrence. There wasn't any reports of violence coming from there, so we're not sure what's going on.
Real quickly, I just want to make an insight check to make sure that everything that he's saying seems on the up and up.
Yes, go right ahead, absolutely.
Just for posterity's sake.
Can I also make an insight check for
Absolutely,
posterity's
yeah.
sake?
I got an 18.
18?
Oh. Ooh. Hold on, bounced out of the box.
Oh.
It's cocked. Ooh. Insight?
Yes.
21.
Hey, yo.
21.
Yo.
You guys remember look at this kid?
Yes.
It seems like he has been. So I'll give you guys 2 things.
Yeah.
It seems like this kid is being as genuine as possible. There's a lot of information that he doesn't have simply because he's a scared kid. Could he have gone into the ruins? Could he have scouted and gone after the sheriff? Absolutely. But all in all, he is afraid, as he has been trained to fight off wolves and maybe like a roaming gang of bandits. But for anything significant, like the thought of going into serious battle terrifies him, and that's very obvious to you.
Luckily for you, Deputy Bo Lu, we are both very skilled at tracking people and highly formidable in battle. So I am certain that once we put our minds to it and get our feet on the ground, that we will be able to find both the sheriff and his men and the mayor's son and the baker's daughter. Is there any other information that you have about the attacks on the farmers to the east? You said they were poachers looking for wolf pelts?
Anything
Anything that was known about those people, or their weapons or what they might have needed those things for?
The Dubois have outlawed poaching within the ancient glade. Not to say it's completely religious, but it's a sacred forest to them, as the balance of materials that they collect and what they kind of place back into the environment. They try to keep that as level as possible, and also just the wanton killing of animals for furs and trophies that is not from an acceptable hunting period or hunting ground is heavily discouraged. And so I believe that any to be honest, the poachers being more similar to bandits in the way of attacking the farmers for their supplies of food, such as meats or grains or bread, or maybe just water and ale. Maybe it was just for fun. I can't really tell you.
DM.
Yes.
I have a question about the compass that we got to track a person. Is it something where we would need would we need to know the person well, like with like a sending spell or a scrying spell, or is it just like basic like name?
That is a very important clarification to make, and I'm going to say for right now that you would have had to met the person or have had surveillance on them before.
Okay.
And I'm saying that now because that will bite me in the ass later if I choose to go down certain quest lines.
We can find anybody.
I wanted to bite you in the ass.
That'd be kind of crazy to go bring me to the president and you just know exactly what.
Well, no, if he could give us a description and be like, okay, show me the baker's.
I mean, here's the most extreme thing about this. You could find any noble you've met so far, had any contact with. You could literally track down Winter Scott Key if you wanted to with this compass.
Cross my mind.
But for right now, you wouldn't be
That's
able.
a long-term goal.
But for right now, you wouldn't be able to track down the sheriff. The sheriff Green, or his name is Isaac Rue, by the way, the mayor's son. You wouldn't be able to track them just based on their names alone. Make sense?
If he has a portrait or something, because he's the mayor's son and he's fancy,
you can certainly find portraits of him if you want to know what he looks like. But that would not work in terms of the tracking.
Okay, for sure.
Hathor's just like, can I have the compass? Where's Aphrodite?
Bring me to her.
Explodes.
Show me God.
Show me God. Another question. Either insight, arcana, history. Is there anything specific that comes to mind about what they might need the wolf pelts for, in case it's something ritualistic or some specific faction of people, werewolves?
Without further information of it, you wouldn't have any, because it's okay, they could be casting a spell using wolf pelt as a way of summoning a wolf god, or they could just be collecting an illicit good to sell in black market sales, as a way of just undercutting legitimate business, as a way, it doesn't sound that super crazy. It's just a mundane aspect of criminal proceedings.
Okay, for sure.
But if it is deeper than that, it could be. But at least for right now, you wouldn't be like, aha, they're all demons.
They're gathering them for the wolf pelt spell. That spell that I know.
I will address Deputy Beau and say to him, be honest, Deputy, what would get those people off your back the most? Finding the mayor's son or the sheriff?
If I had to ask for something, I would say because again, the sheriff and his people have gone missing. I would say maybe try and find them, try to get them back. If not because not because of any animosity, just because that would make it would get them off of my back, and with more people, we'd be able to go and we'd be able to find the mayor's son. But it's also, but to satiate the mayor and the people themselves, going out and finding them wouldn't be terrible either.
I put a hand on his shoulder and I say, that is a very astute summary of the pros and cons of the actions that we are considering, Deputy Beau. Good job.
You're welcome. He kind of just backs up a little bit.
And
Yes.
While the drive to help is respected, you would not need to join us if you do not want to.
Oh, as like he very, very strongly considers that proposal. As he then goes, they're already kind of dragging me through the mud. I think I'd prefer to come with you if it would mean that they would be less, just stop shouting and booing me whenever I go get bread or eggs. But if you'd prefer me to stay here and kind of look after them.
6 eggs, boo!
I'm literally starving. Boo! But if you think that helping you would be the best course of action, I'd be more than happy to accompany you.
We should confer before we decide, but thank you for the information. You do not need to exit with us if you prefer the safety of your office.
Absolutely. And you watch as he goes, a pleasure meeting you. If you need anything else, please just let me know. As he gets up, he walks over to the cell. He has the keys on his belt as he closes himself inside of it.
Oh no.
I'm gonna take a nap here.
Good night.
Take a nap right here.
Good night.
Hathor,
Oh my god.
as you continue kind of exploring around, off from the crowd, not directly within them, you are able to hear crying. It is
Bitch, why are you crying?
it is poorly stifled, but you are able to see just kind of off towards one of the buildings, kind of across from where the sheriff's office is. You are able to see a woman. She has a kind of like a white veil kind of like around her head, pulling her hair up away from her eyes. She is shorter, a bit heavier set, and you're able to see she has her hands up as she is trying to like kind of pull her face in a way to kind of like keep herself from crying, as she has a woman a bit taller than her, maybe like 5'6", 5'7", behind her, an arm around her, kind of trying to comfort her as well as possible.
I will... How old is the woman who's crying?
Oh, probably around, I would say maybe early 40s, probably. If you want to give me a perception check, you can give me, just for more detail.
Yeah. 15?
15. The woman, so the taller woman behind the kind of like shorter, stockier woman, you're able to see her eyes are red, as well as it seems like she's kind of keeping herself together. And you're able to notice from the apron on the shorter, kind of stockier woman, covered in flour, this is clearly a baker of some kind.
Hathor will surreptitiously grab some flowers. Either pay for them or pick them off the side of the road. But we'll wrap them very simply. It's not a big bouquet, it's just a small, cheap set of like field flowers that she will have grabbed. And she will gently approach. She will have buttoned herself up. And in general, with her alter self, if you allow me to do this, you can say no, but I almost a shimmer of like her cleavage goes away, and
yeah,
she just generally has this more religious kind of look to her as she just gently approaches and says in Allaturian, forgive me, I am new to this area, but I heard of your troubles, and I'm so sorry. If it is any consolation, I have these flowers. I would like you to have them. I've prayed over them. I know that sometimes religious intervention is not welcome during tragedy, so do as you may. But if there is anything I can do to help, I am a traveling priest.
We will take whatever help we can get. Thank you. And as she reaches out her hands to take the flowers, you're able to hear thing, thing, and you're able to look to her wrist, and she has a bracelet on her wrist. And give me a quick Arcana check for me.
Take advantage.
No.
Fuck. Can't be religion.
No.
7.
I love how this is returned to you guys being like, please, DM,
Please, 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 please.
With the 7, you're able to look. It almost seems like small links of metal. It almost looks like steel of some kind, with just a small, like, blue sheen to it. Basically, you would know this is not mithril because you are very familiar because if you see mithril, you know what that means. This is not mithril. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You motherfucker! Just gonna come in.
You bitch!
Come quick! Allatour's shooting up the town!
Hang on, I ripped out my headphone. Hathor will kind of just clasp her hands together after giving these flowers and will say, loss is a terrible thing to go through, especially when it is not meant to be this kind of loss. I know some general magic, and I'm banking on us taking a long rest before we go out on our adventure.
Yes.
I would like to use my channel divinity, Lustrating Beauty, like sanctify a number of creatures equal you, but I would like to do it to help ease the redness from their eyes.
Oh.
And, maybe help with the headache from crying that they've developed. And just in general, give them take the sallowness out of their cheeks a little bit. In addition to just like maybe easing their pain a little bit with the love they have for their daughter.
As you cast this upon them and you take like some of course their emotions remaining, but some of their physical ailments away, accepting the flowers from you.
And as I hand them over while she takes the flowers, that's when I want it to hit.
Just with the aromas of the flowers entering her nose, so too does all the physical ailments begin to exit her face. As she goes, Thank you. You're not from here.
Correct. I know it is an odd time to be traveling, but I feel my gifts are uniquely suited to this kind of trouble that our country is facing right now.
She kind of looks to you and blinks a few times, and just the agony, being persistent with the thought of a child disappearing. A small glimmer of hope shines across her pupils as she goes, well, we're happy that you're traveling here now. As just in a pouch to her side, she pulls out a freshly baked roll of bread and goes, for your troubles, thank you.
Thank you. Would you be able to tell me any details? Try my very best not to give false hope, but I would love to help if there is help to be done.
She looks back to her wife and then kind of back to you and goes, our daughter is, just kind of looks and just kind of like thinks like how to identify her and goes, she has blonde hair, she's a bit larger, similar to myself, and you might know her from, and then she just kind of holds up her and she goes, we have matching bracelets. This came from my father, and she just kind of shows it to you in more detail. It's small interlinking pieces of metal. Again, it's the same description as before.
Is it the exact same kind of bracelet?
Yes.
Oh, because I have access to a spell called Locate Object, which allows me to find an object within 1,000 feet of me. Can I say that I have it prepared for today?
I will allow that, and I'm going to say that that's super useful.
But I will save it for when it's
so because it's not within range of you right now.
Right now.
You know that. If you choose to go down the path, that will become very useful to you. Okay.
Yeah, and Hathor will look at the bracelet and say, "That is enough. That would be enough for me to look."
Okay.
And I would like you to know that my very best, I will try to give you peace of mind.
Silently nod back to you in a bit of thanks. and really kind of push bread products on you as just showing as a thank you.
I love carbs. Yes. I'm gonna eat this with jam. Oh.
As the mayor and the mayor's wife still standing there, Hawthor kind of finishing up that conversation. As I'm gonna say the pretty ones are able to kind of reconvene. The mayor goes, "So, have you decided to grace us with your assistance?"
Indeed. We will be aiding you in this endeavor.
You're able to watch as the mayor's wife, just large breath, just a sigh of relief as she goes, "In all honesty, we were just gonna keep yelling at the sheriff's office until something happened, so this is very fortunate for us." As like Alice kind of extends courtesies to you and goes, "If you would need to stay in any inn, if you would need food, room, or board, it can be provided to you at no cost. As if you intend to help us, we will help you."
That would be very kind. Thank you. I believe we may need to sleep on our decision. We will be assisting you, but we may need to sleep on our decision of where we will be assisting you. But if you are offering, that would be very kind. We would happily accept.
As you happily accept, Etin Rue, the mayor, looks to you and goes, "Our accommodations may be modest, but we are more than happy to keep you in the highest quality that we can provide."
We were just camping the other night, so and a bed would be suitable. We do not need much.
We will be happy.
Your nicest bed wouldn't hurt, though.
Cast me a persuasion check.
I gotta get my numbers back. Roll for being a bitch. 17.
17? Okay.
That's quite the bitch.
Quite the bitch.
What bitch?
Bitches.
Okay. This guy got a nat 1. As he goes, "If your letter is true, and you're kind of like he kind of scrolls up a little bit because Sherry interrupting you is not like a regular person interrupting you."
It's different.
"Of course, we cannot send you out to do our deeds after receiving squalid nights of rest." As he looks to his wife nods as he goes, "The Honorable Viscount Cassiano Alwyn Pavel III, I would be happy to see you take my room and my bed for the evening to motivate you properly to act accordingly."
I would be honored to receive such a kind offer. That is too kind. Thank you so much. I simply must accept such a kindness. My goodness.
Such a kindness.
Yes.
But of course, allow me to show you to my personal dwellings, and I can guarantee that with the duck feather pillows and the well-stuffed mattress, you will be sleeping well tonight, and certainly better than myself. Allow me to, as he kind of takes your arm basically and goes, "Follow me and we shall get a drink."
Honorable Viscount, before you take upon the kindness of this mayor, perhaps you would join the rest of us in the inn so that way we may discuss our plans for the morning.
Oh, yes, perhaps I shall. Of course. I will take you up on your kindness very soon, Mayor Rue.
I will set a glass out of wine just for you.
Thank you kindly.
As
You are too kind, Mayor Rue. You are too kind.
Yep. as he takes off back to his house, as he's like, "Did I have to?"
Choked on my spit so bad.
As you guys are able to find your way over to the local inn, local inn/tavern, a very simple bar. They're really, I'm not skipping over anything for time. It's just I can only describe simplicity in such detail. But you're able to find your ways either to a table there or to one of the incredibly small rooms with thin mattresses and kind of like unfluffed pillows that you can find yourselves in. Wherever you choose to have this conversation.
I think we would get rooms next to each other, but we could reconvene in my room. Do we know that Hathor disguised herself?
Hathor
the
rocks
fuck
up
are
and there
you?
are no more horns. Just
Hathor, who took your horns?
Oh, it was a great, big, terrible battle between me and a very handsome blacksmith. And unfortunately, he got the horns.
Mess with the bull, get the horns. Literally.
Your eyes are different too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. He took...
You took those.
Sure.
I assume we.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I assume that we relay everything that we learned.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do the same as
We're up
well.
to date. Yeah. Alrighty, so sheriff and his men first, or the mayor's son and the baker's daughter?
Seems as though the deputy is very harried by
Yeah.
his change in position.
Mm.
But if we aim to do both, then does anyone feel a certain pull in any direction?
Well, you also have to keep in mind who's been lost for longer, who might be running running low on rations.
And as well, I was thinking that if we were to fetch the sheriff and them first, that perhaps they could aid us in finding the mayor's son.
I mean, there's also the very real reality that we try to do both, but only save one.
thank you, Tony.
What do you think?
What did you say?
You just went.
Sir Bumperdinger, do you have a preference?
If we want to avoid a situation where we, in trying to save both of them, only end up having time to save one, we could go for a situation where maybe we try to save both of them and maybe end up splitting our resources so much that we save no one. We could try splitting the party, and we could save both.
You're
at
a
the
son of a
same
bitch. You're a
time.
son of a bitch. You're a son of a bitch.
I mean,
Is that
what's the
Always goes so
possible
well.
suggestion I could make?
Splitting
No,
the party has never gone poorly, ever.
I think we should the decision should more or less be made based on, does either of them need our help immediately, and if not, then which one could help us out with the other. But first we should try to figure out if one of them might be out of food or something, or water.
To your point, Sir Bumperdinger, perhaps if we located the sheriff and his men, they could help us locate, and yours as well, Honorable Viscount, they could help us locate the mayor's son and baker's daughter, or the sheriff and his men could find the baker's daughter and the mayor's son on their own.
There's also the very real possibility that whatever awaits the sheriff and his men is far more dangerous.
We go complete one quest and then send the NPC from that quest out on a different quest. It's like, you owe us a favor, go do this other quest for us.
Just
It is their
outsourcing.
it is their job.
Yes.
Jeez.
Step 3 profit.
Here's the
Do
thing.
you want to come along to help out and to be able to see what happened? Nope, we want you to do it and explain what happens to us later.
I have a spell I would like to cast before we go to implore my higher power for guidance. Mayhaps it will clear the way a little bit. Mayhaps it will make everything harder to do. But if we are pretty evenly split on the path forward, it may offer some guidance.
Whatever you are comfortable with expending.
Oh, after I do this, I am going to bed.
Yes, we should all get a good night's rest.
Yes, I have to get to the mayor's house.
I heard about that.
That's what I deserve.
Ooh.
What is
I
this
could
magic?
talk to you forever about what you deserve.
What is this
sweet
magic you will be doing?
Cassiano.
Lady Hawthorne, what is this magic you will be performing?
A ritual to contact my goddess. It takes a minute. I merely need to, and she will pull out a small bag from her pouch filled with seashells.
Okay.
It merely requires a bit of rolling the dice, shall we say. And she will plop down cross-legged in the middle of the floor and take out these beautifully ornate seashells. Like, they are worth a pretty penny. They are opalescent and iridescent and all the things. They are complete spirals and fully unchipped fans and whole sand dollars. And she will lay them out in a very specific pattern, and she will cast augury, which...
Okay, time to Google. All right.
I have it up here now.
Oh.
You receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the result of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. God damn it.
I'll allow that. It's fine. It's a cool idea.
Let's
Thank
go.
The DM chooses from the following possible omens. Weal for good results, woe for bad results, weal and woe for both good and bad results, or nothing, results that aren't especially good or bad. It doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome. Okay, yes. Yes.
Do I just say one of the options?
No, I ask... I think about us taking the... I think about the attempt to do both and how that would skew
The
more
attempt.
wheel than woe, more...
The attempt to do both, do you mean like by splitting up? Or do you mean the attempt to do both in like one... Just to kind of get the specificity of the ask.
Yeah. I think the attempt to do one after the other.
Oh. I'll give this to you because you're spending the spell slot, and I want to kind of play around with how this works. When you kind of cast this out into the plane of Aphrodite, and you channel into the beauty of the world, and you think about...
I feel like the faint smell of sea salt and seawater fills the room.
It all smells like you're right near the open sea. As you think about the mayor's son, and then you think about the sheriff. And in that order, the sense of winds and the sea blowing your ship in the proper direction. But you get the sense of, you think of the sheriff, and then you think of the mayor's son, and you think of a looming storm on the horizon. One that you may be able to avoid, but one that is looming towards you.
She will not have moved. As soon as it started, she goes entirely stock still, and heat ripples off of her in waves. She opens her eyes, and she says, "If we pursue the sheriff first, we may, if we are lucky enough and quick enough, we may be able to save the mayor's son as well. But regardless of our fortune or favor, whatever is going to happen will happen. So best that we are prepared.
I'm always prepared.
Sure.
I think that goes for the rest of us as well. So,
And Hathor just like,
Pass out a little bit.
bleh.
so are you all right?
Yes, I am not used to using so much magic. I'm not used to running empty every day.
Here, I will help her off the floor and sit her on the bed.
I say, I promise
it'd be
it was
so
on-
nice if this was a goose feather pillow, and she's just like making fun of Cass.
Oh, I know, right?
Hmm.
I can't wait.
I cannot wait for the day where you will have to sleep in the mud and have to brush it out of your hair.
Literally last night we slept in the mud. I
Nope,
brushed
that was
my hair
dirt,
so
darling. It's
carefully.
very different.
Well,
Anyways.
I don't want to do that.
So what path are we going down?
So the Honorable Viscount may return to his goose feather pillow, and so that we all may get a rest. Shall we venture to the glade to retrieve the sheriff, and then, with the sheriff and his men, if they are in condition, retrieve the mayor's son?
Yes.
Yes, I think that would be
At
best.
least be able to bring a body back for them to bury.
Lady Hathor, I did not take you for the morbid type.
Kids, get your light.
When you work and grow up in a temple dedicated to healing, it is often closer than people think.
Let's hope it does not come to that. Sir Bumperdigger, where did you get those snacks?
Well, around.
From the wine ghost, I'm sure.
We're also in a tavern, so we probably got him from the
Oh.
tavern.
I'm starving.
Would you like some?
Yes, thank you.
Here you go. Nom nom.
So overall, if I'm getting the vibes correct, Ancient Glade first, and then if there's enough time, rush off to the mayor's son.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, any other conversations before you guys receive your long rest and travel to the Ancient Glade, and then we're gonna wrap up. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm good.
I'll save it. I will, however, travel to the mayor's house and take him up on the offer
Without a
of
doubt.
sleeping in his bed. 100%.
As you enter into his kind of simple one-story thatched roof house, you're able to see a small stairway leading to like a small little attic, kind of like as you walk inside, and it's of a slightly better like furnished variety, as you're able to see, like, you know, nothing like elaborate like royal like dukes and duchesses of like what's within their castles, but like you're able to see a well-fluffed sofa. You're able to see like a chair for lounging, an elaborate pipe for smoking tobacco. No doorway on it, but leading into like a separate room for a kitchen, not just out and very obvious. And through another doorway on the opposite side of the house, you're able to see the most glorious bed laid out before you, at least one that you have seen in several days. And as you kind of come in, sitting in this, reading chair, smoking a pipe, the mayor goes, "The Honorable Viscount, how scared I was that you would take me up on my offer."
I would never be one to do you the disservice or the insult of turning down such a kind offer, Mayor Rue.
Well, please. And as he pours you a glass of wine and goes, "Take this wine and sleep well in my bed."
Thank you, good sir.
My wife will be in the attic, and I will be on the couch as you walk into the bedroom.
Is there a door?
No.
Damn it. I go and I ready myself for bed, and I drink the wine.
As you drink the wine, there's a
One,
small bowl of water for
one.
washing yourself. You brush your hair 1,001 times. As everybody here gets a long rest, but not all these long rests are equal. as you guys are able to wake, and would you like? So I did not. I don't know if there's like a consensus on this. Will you be taking Bo along with you?
Ooh, will we be taking Bo? Can I make like a insight or a perception check of like, what are we talking, like level HP wise? How many hits would he go down in?
Me as well. May I also make that insight?
Yes.
Like,
go right
will
ahead.
he be a help, or will we waste all of our spells healing him?
Yep. Go right ahead. Yes.
I got a 19 insight.
I got
a
a 15.
1915. You guys kind of get the sense that he would have around 11 hit points. He would have an AC of around like 15. He can move about 30 feet in a round. Sorry, about 60 in about 6 seconds. Fuck. He's a little bit good at moving and lifting things, and he's a little bit good at drinking. But he's pretty average when it comes to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
Baby boy should stay here.
Yep. I think
Just
as
a guy.
we begin, yeah,
He's
I
just
think
a guy.
I think as we prepared, if we swung by the sheriff's station, I would let him down easy and say, "Well, they don't show it. You are better served. Your town is better served with a deputy than no acting law at all."
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm not built to be. You guys are. You're so tall, and you're so strong, and yeah. I'm just not. I'm just.
I am tall.
I wouldn't be able to keep up. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Tallest cast.
You would have had
Like
like a
5'6".
though.
I didn't mention it, but Bo is 2'5". No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
What did you say, Tony?
He would have had such a coming of age journey though.
But he
Or he
also
would've-
would have died.
He would have died.
A coming of
Well,
age
if he
is also a
didn't,
final
if he didn't
ride.
die, he would have come of age.
Coming of age tragedy.
So true.
Did you die? Sadly, yes. But I lived.
But I live.
The Bo you knew is dead.
The only thing I remember from that movie. What a fire line.
Okay.
I'm
So
sorry. The old Bo can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because he's dead.
He's dead.
And the exact same thought.
Bo happily puts on his armor and begins patrolling around the town streets to make sure there aren't any, people drunk, no kind of thievery, things of that sort.
We just hear in the distance, boo,
Boo! Can I get a bag?
boo, you sir,
Boo, you sir.
Yeah, it's just kind of like as Bo moves, the boos just kind of circle around him as he. It's like an area of effect.
Poor Boobo.
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 As it sounds like you guys will be traveling east into the ancient glade.
Yes.
Okay. Well, with that, as you guys are able to mount onto your steeds, onto Alwyn, onto your broom, the townsfolk, those that are able to see you, give you a happy farewell and good wishes as you ride east into the ancient glade. And this is gonna be the last thing we do before we stop. Just to be very honest with you, it's a mysterious forest.
Mysterious forest.
And I'll say that, like, with all the preparations that you make, it's closer to midday by the time that you actually reach the ancient glade. Again, it takes you maybe 4 hours to even reach the edge of it. Meaning that, again, the high being the sky being high in the lie, the sun being high in the sky. My tongue is just working so well this evening. Even as you enter within the forest, you realize that these are tall evergreen trees, not like small little, I guess you could say, like thickets that you were seeing across your journeys coming here. This is a dense forest that you were stepping into. And again, close to midday, the many shadows cast by the thick and bushy evergreens surrounding you turns the noon sky into an unexpected evening. The stone paths that you walk on as you enter inside begin to become unruly and uneven as dirt cracks between stones begin to expand and cause them to become unlevel, causing each brick to rise and fall unexpectedly, pushed out of place by the roots of a forest which frankly ignores the wishes of those that inhabit it. As you continue into the forest, another hour, 2 hours pass. Can everybody here give me an Arcana check?
Ooh.
Love to.
Is this about anything
Not in the
Fey,
box.
Fiend, or Undead?
Yes.
Natural 20!
Ooh, wait, let me roll this again. It's cracked.
Nope.
Ooh. 21.
21. Not 20. Blurso, what'd you get?
18.
18? Hathor, you got a 5. Hathor, as the sky rapidly disappears around you, there's a certain it's almost difficult to focus in on trying to sense these things, as you're not used to flying in places where you do not have complete freedom.
That makes sense.
Just to go in order here, 18 for Blurso, not 20 for Cass, and then Sherry with
21.
a 21. Arcana, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Blurso, as you travel into the forest, you're able to watch as you pass by and pass through small streams, leading into small little puddles and ponds scattered around. You notice sap kind of leaking from some of the trees as just the natural progress of their age continues. And as you see these like multiple liquids, as you're kind of looking around, you're able to notice sap from a tree as it falls. Only you can detect this. It begins to split. You see it from a single stream of an incision in the tree. It pulls into a circle. Then you watch as it falls in a straight line. And with that straight line, it breaks off into 2 smaller paths, and then 2 smaller paths below that, like a very rudimentary stick figure forming before your eyes. And you're able to watch as the head of this stick figure elongates as it falls with gravity. And you watch as the arms and the legs and the torso stretch out as well to inhuman proportions, until it is but a facsimile of what it was just a second ago. And you walk by streams, and you walk by these ponds, and you see that the water begins to pool like that as well. These almost like humanoid figures dance within them before disappearing, before anybody else can catch them. Make sense?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, good. It's not supposed to right now.
Oh.
Cherie.
Mm-hmm.
You've traveled these roads before, because again, moving through this forest, you kind of sensed its energy before, as the LaCroix have certainly taken trips to the Dubois Castle, without a doubt.
Yeah.
You sense a strong Fey presence coming from this forest now, though, one that was not there 3-4 weeks ago. And you have to wonder if whatever happened at the Harvest Day Festival has affected that. Cass, as you move through this forest, there's a unique presence to you. Not 20, right?
Yeah.
There's a unique presence to you. Because as you just kind of tap into the energy surrounding this forest, you watch as... And you watch as crows kind of lining some of the trees look down and kind of scan around you. And you watch as they look and then and they move away. You watch as in the distance, maybe 20, 30 yards away from you, an elk looks, kind of turns to you. That's the sounds that elks make. I'm sorry, I can't do everything.
No, you're fine.
Looks to you and then scurries off. And you realize that similar to just like nature just surrounding you, similar to the trees and the roots beneath them, the animals within this forest are acting like a network. They're not fleeing from you, they're observing you and then moving on. And you would know what causes such strange behavior. It's not native to these animals, it's not necessarily native to the forest either, but there is one creature which you know of that has the ability to cause animals to act in this way. And I'm going to text you the name of that creature now.
Boo.
Yes, let's go.
Boo. I want to know. Boo.
Boo! Boo!
Boo, you stink.
Ooh.
And
What is
that
it from SpongeBob?
That is
Like-
what is able to cause this. And there are more histories surrounding it, which I can definitely give you in private, which you would know of, but that is what can cause this. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh. Sorry. Okay,
Oh,
good to know.
You travel deeper and deeper into the forests. And eventually, you're able to watch as these stone pathways fall away. Which is strange. Sherry, you would recognize this. Even kind of like the hiking trails that people are able to... That the hiking trails that people and animals both use to kind of like traverse easier through like the thick bushes, that is gone. Overtaken by sudden growths of roots and saplings and bushes and the like. Can I please get a survival check from everybody?
Oh, doggy.
Ooh, doggy.
Oh, doggy.
And this is going to be a group check, by the way.
Survival, fuck.
Is this for tracking?
No, not for tracking.
Okay, then it's an 8.
It's not just anyone. It's an unnatural one.
An unnatural
Okay.
one, okay.
3 minus 2.
10?
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
God.
Hathor, staying off of
We're
the
doing great.
staying off of the ground, you're able to look down and something strange begins happening. As you have a better perspective of anybody of just like maybe the next like 50 yards going forward. And you're able to watch as the rough hiking path laid out before everybody, before it disappears, it begins to and it begins to shift and morph, and a straight, almost curved line becomes an S, and it loops back in on itself. And then as everybody continues to follow it, it and disappears completely. And you watch as the stallions and the mule and the riders on top of them follow the pathway.
My broom starts to shake. Whoa,
and
Nelly.
you have to and you basically have to like fight to kind of like just stay on their path as they start taking just for no reason just turns that make no sense to them. And you realize that after following them and even trying to scout the path ahead for them, you realize that going left, going right, the sun being blocked off above you, even as you're doing your best to navigate through this place, after maybe about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, even doing your best, all of you falling behind Hathor, you all realize how lost you truly are in this forest. And as you look behind you and you look in front of you, the trees, so thick and so numerous, block off any familiar markings around you, leading you back to the village. And Cass, you would know this is not a natural occurrence. Something is causing this around you. Everybody here, please give me a perception check as you continue into this forest.
There are no more rules, man. We're lost.
We're lost!
That is another unnatural one.
Oh no.
Is this
You said perception?
Yep,
Perception.
Do this.
God damn it.
18.
18,
17.
17,
4.
4.
The
Sherry,
dice giveth, the dice taketh away.
Yep.
and I'll be very honest with you, Sherry. That Fey Fiend undead, strong Fey presence, you know something is wrong right now. You're not sure what creature is causing this, but there's some kind of even if it is a creature, a magical effect around you And instead of, and like, you're not focusing on like anything, but is something coming towards me right now to kill me? And like, I'm saying like one hand on the sword, basically. Make sense?
Yeah. Could I make a quick history check to see if I would know what's causing this?
I'm gonna say yes, but it's gonna have to be a high roll, okay?
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. No, wait. 19.
I was gonna say, you gotta beat it at 18. Perfect.
Yes! Finally!
You begin noticing as well, you see a brown bear scratching at a tree. Notice you. Scamper away. You see wolves and wild dogs moving in packs.
See Remy.
You see Remy. Notice you. Go, hey, fuck you, and then run away.
No, Remy.
You see the same crows mentioned before. You see all these kinds of animals acting as like a network of surveillance. And you have studied monsters similar to this. And you would know not what you're looking for, but you know what's around you. You would know what's stalking you. I'm going to send it to the NPC chat because half the party's got it.
You want to come in here and tell me?
No, I'll be kind as like a thing to finish off on. Because this is something, and I'm gonna get to those perception checks of Hawthorne and Cass. As you understand, 1 second, if I can just get this in there, right there. As you understand that the creature around you is not an individual force, but is one of nature embodied. It's a fey creature. It is from the Fey Wild, and is now here for some reason. You're able to see this image that I'm sending out now, and you would know it as a Leshy. To everybody at home watching. An ancient being of pure nature. And Sherry, as those gears turn in your mind and you realize that Cass and Hawthorne maybe about 10, 15 yards away from you, buried within all the nature, you're able to hear and you're able to hear a scared crying. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
No!
Creature!
Creature feature.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we all having a good time?
Yes!
Yes,
Wee wee!
and yes.
Wee wee!
Excellent. I am very excited for next session. Yes, Winter Scott Key and whatever is happening with the Coven, things have come to light.
Amazing.
And Darby, I will text you personal stuff about exactly like what the interaction there would be. Because
Let's go!
Because like Sherry having that kind of knowledge of like, oh, I've been trained to kill things like this is not the knowledge that you would have concerning these things.
Knowledge.
Yes.
Sounds good.
But yes, absolutely awesome. Yeah, like, so again, Allatour is going to be like a lot of like adventure of the week kind of stuff. There's going to be like, some overarching plot stuff. A lot, like there's going to be backstory stuff, obviously. I have pre-planning is so nice. I have a plan for everybody. But yeah, just kind of like having a good time and going on adventures and stuff.
Yeah. Woo!
So yeah.
It was so good. You did so good.
Everyone did so
Thank
good.
So good.
So good. So good.
But yes. Unless there's anything else that people want to say, that's going to be ending off for tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We really do deeply appreciate it.
Thank you.
51 subscribers.
Thank you
love
for 51
all of you.
subscribers.
It's absolutely awesome. And yes, everybody here, sleep well, have a wonderful evening, and we hope to see you again next time. So yeah, thank you, everybody. Peace out.
Au revoir.
Salut.
Salut.
A bientôt.